Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Very warm welcome to devotees to the 49th National Seminar and Cultural Festival organized by the Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi Research Center and Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning, Bangalore. We commence with the day's proceedings with an invocatory prayer to Bhagavan to be rendered by Srimati Radha and Revati as well as Ms. Sapna.
दक्षिणामूर्ति सारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमां रमणाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपरां वंदे गुरु परंपरां वंदे गुरु परंपरां शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आंगिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् அண்ணாமலை தனிலே அமர்ந்திருக்கும் அரசே அண்ணாமலை தனிலே அமர்ந்திருக்கும் அரசே ஆனந்தமான வாழ்வை ஆனந்தமான வாழ்வை அடியேனுக்கு அருள் செய்வாய் அடியேனுக்கு அருள் செய்வாய் அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா எங்கும் நிறைந்திருந்தே எங்கும் நிறைந்திருந்தே ஏகமயானவரே ஏகமயானவரே ஏகம் நிறைந்த என்னை ஏகம் நிறைந்த என்னை இன்பம் அடைய செய்வாய் இன்பம் அடைய செய்வாய் அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா சொல்லி விளக்க உன்னை சொல்லி விளக்க உன்னை சொற்களுண்டோ உலகில் சொற்களுண்டோ உலகில் சொல்லி விளக்க உன்னை சொல்லி விளக்க உன்னை சொற்களுண்டோ உலகில் சொற்களுண்டோ உலகில் ஜோதியுள் ஜோதியாக ஜோதியுள் ஜோதியாக ஜொலிக்கும் சுயஞ்சுடரே ஜொலிக்கும் சுயஞ்சுடரே ஜோதியுள் ஜோதியாக ஜோதியுள் ஜோதியாக ஜொலிக்கும் சுயஞ்சுடரே ஜொலிக்கும் சுயஞ்சுடரே அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா. ரமண தேவா ரமண தேவா, 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 ரமண தேவா ரமண தேவா. நமோ ரமண.
With a prayer so wonderfully sung by Radha and team, we will pray upon Bhagavan to shower his Arul Saivai Ramana Deva. Today's workshop is broadly on the topic of understanding the mind. This is split into 3 presentations, one each by each of our distinguished speakers, Sri Venkatesh Deshpande, Sri Nandakumar and Sri Dileep Simha in that order. A brief introduction of Sri Venkatesh ji. Those who are attending the Sunday satsangs or the weekly satsangs are regular listeners to his talks. Yet, Sri Venkatesh Deshpande was born in Chittaranjan in West Bengal to a pious and devoted family, a family attached to Sri Shivananda ji and the ashram at Rishikesh. In fact, his marriage was solemnized in the divine presence of Swamiji at Rishikesh. As all of us do, he then set on his career, the path which all of us normally tread. Before, on a chance visit, he hit the Ramana shrine one day. Little did he then know that his future, for at least a few more decades from then on, will be with the Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning. He serves as the president of the Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi Research Center. On the first lap of this workshop, he will be talking to us on entering the path of self-inquiry. Over to you, Sri Venkatesh.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Welcome to all of you. So how do all of you feel today? You feel good? You are spending some valuable time of yours in the center 2 days. So all of you come with some expectations? Have all of you come with some expectations? Yes or no? Yes, so good. Your expectations won't be met. I must tell you that, because what happened was, whenever devotees used to come to Ramanashramam, Bhagavan would empty them off. They would come with a lot of questions, and what would happen? When they got nothing left. Right? They would have nothing left. Only they would, all their worries, all their problems, everything would be gone. Correct? So that's what's going to happen. It is the next 2 days we will see how to get us out of this thing called the mind, how to deal with that. So the next, so my session is on entering the path of self-inquiry. So why do we need self-inquiry? So when you ask your child, if you have a child will ask, Papa, tell me why you're asking me to do this. We've all been parents, right? So tell me, Mom, why do you want self-inquiry? Okay, she says there's nothing else worth pursuing. Okay, so now all the gold discount sales are going on. You seen the newspaper? All the Joy Alucas is selling gold at discount rate, 15% discount on making charges, right? So why didn't we go and buy gold? It will give us happiness, right? So why have you come here, sir? Yeah. Why have you come? You must have come with some reason, no? Why have you come, sir? Dipan sadhana. Okay, good. Sir, what about you, sir? Oh, very good. So he wants to be more comfortable with himself. It's a beautiful thing. So everybody, आप क्यों आए हैं sir? बोलिए. Burn the ego. Where is the fire? Burn. Get the matchbox. Get the kerosene oil. We're going to burn the ego now today. So, yeah, it's just a joke, but important thing is we are here for a particular purpose. And the purpose should be very, very clearly known by all of us. If we don't know where we are going, then any road is okay. Correct? If we know where we are going, then be truly happy. Are we all very happy? I don't see everybody smiling here. Are all of you happy? Huh? Just tell me, if you're not smiling, that child, if you do, it starts laughing, stomach will go up and down, up and down, up and down. That is called laughing, right? Do we laugh like that? When did we last laughed like that? Nobody will remember. Correct? Because we stop laughing. We're not. So, when are we going to be truly happy is one of the reasons that all of you are here. And like what he said, we want to know who we really are. Why are we not able to know who we are? If I ask all of you are human beings, yes or no? Huh? I need everybody to answer, please. All of you are aware that you are human beings? I don't hear, everybody doesn't believe that they are human beings here. Are all of you, again I'm asking the question, do you all believe you are human beings? Yes. So if all of you believe you are human beings, then if I say that you are all divine. See, I was going in an auto rickshaw one day. The name of the driver was Krishna. So I said, wow, Krishna, you are my Sarathi today. What, sir? What you are calling me Krishna? Krishna is somewhere else. Okay, why? My name is only Krishna, but I am not Krishna. Right? So that is what we have in our mind. Which is the real and what is the unreal, okay? And what's the purpose of human life? Why are we born? Why are we born? The point really is, if you don't know why we are born, then it doesn't matter, right? Everybody is doing so many things. Does it matter, man, that you know why you were born? It matters, no? Because otherwise what happens? When you are in the deathbed, sorry? You said something? No. Otherwise in the deathbed you wonder, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done that. Correct? It's good to know why you are born. You're born for a particular purpose. Okay? So we'll try and understand that. So, has the world given all of you happiness? The first thing we're dealing with is happiness. So, has the world given you happiness, sir? Has the world given you happiness? Now and then. He thinks now and then he gets happiness. See how lucky he is. Sometimes he gets happiness. Right? What about you, sir? Do you get happiness? Yes, yes. Occasionally. Sorry? Sorry? Occasionally you said? Okay. So occasionally he also gets happy. I want to meet you after. At the break time I want to meet both of you, because you are saying that okay, occasionally you feel happy. I want to know how you feel happy, right? So the point is, has the world given you happiness consistently is a very important. Consistently. You know the Rolex watch is there? Rolex watch. What does it say? Perpetual. Perpetual means what? It will give you time every time, right time. That means you also want happiness to be there all the time. But we don't. You go outside on the road and see anybody smiling? Nobody's smiling. Nobody's laughing. Why? I don't know why nobody's smiling, nobody's laughing. We have been seeking objects. No, but which is the closest object that we have? Sir, which is the closest object to you? No. No, the closest object to you is your mobile. Yes or no? It is in the left pocket, right pocket, pant pocket, shirt pocket. Closest to you is the mobile, correct? That's the object. Forget about any other object. Has that object given you happiness? Ask yourself. Battery goes down, unhappiness. No internet connection, unhappiness. Right? Phone falls down, glass breaks, unhappiness. So what is that object going to give? Is it giving you happiness? Tell me yes or no. It's not giving you happiness. But it's that object is closest to you. Now this is a very important question that all of us need to do manana on. Does the object say, get me, I shall give you happiness? Does the object say, ma? Does the object say that give me happiness? I'll give you happiness? Does it guarantee you happiness? When they say 1 year warranty, it says warranty. Okay? Does there any guarantee says? Is there a guarantee card it will give you happiness? No guarantee card. So, no object says, even your family, nobody guarantees you happiness. Yes or no? I want all of you to be on the same page because we are going to go further. If you have any doubts, please ask. If you know of an object that gives you happiness, I'd like to know now. Okay? It is you that is seeking happiness. Yes, sir, you have a question? That's a good question. Very good. So what is happiness? All of you have to answer. See, Bhagavan never gave answers. I am not here to give you answers. I am going to put a catalyst into you for you to find the answers. Because if I give you an answer, it's a subjective answer. You may not like that answer and say, this is not a good answer. Give a better answer. Bhagavan says, he has never given an answer. You tell me, sir, what is happiness as per you, sir? Comfort. What about you? What is happiness? Okay, nothing can make you happiness. But sir, you asked that question. Please tell me, what do you believe is happiness? Peace. So, what in your peace of mind? So everybody is saying peace. Peace means what? What is peace? Means what? No expectation means what? Are you digging deeper or not? It's a state of being. Bhagavan says, Simha, keep quiet. That is happiness. When you have no attachments, you are happy. Okay, it's not that you are smiling, that is you are happy. Because inside it may be very, very troublesome. Outside you may be smiling, right? So, important thing is you have to be inside happy. Everybody is saying it's the state of doing. All the time I'm doing this, this is making me happy. I've come for this workshop, it's going to make me happy. This workshop is not going to make you happy, I'm telling you. Why it's not going to make you happy? Why is it not going to make you happy? Yes, sir. Why is it not going to make you happy? Because your nature is happiness. If you are looking for happiness outside, you will not find it. Please remember this. This should be in your bone marrow also. Now forget about bones. It should be in your bone marrow also. That happiness is your nature. If you're going to look for it outside, you're looking for it in the wrong place. If you're looking for it in the wrong place, you will not find it. Okay? So don't think I'm going to give you happiness. I am not going to give you happiness. I am just going to put a catalyst in your mind to be able to find the happiness within. Okay? So again, we jumped this point, but this is an important point. Happiness, a thought. Is it a thought or a state of being? Is it a thought? We just discussed it. What is it? What is happiness? State of being. It's not about doing. It is not about a thought. It is being. Just be. The mosquito will be sitting on the wall, right now. It is a state of being. It is just there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what is going on inside the room. So, happiness, everybody, if you do that Who Am I book, you read it. First page it says, everybody wants to be happy all the time. And nobody is happy. Nobody is happy. Why? Bhagavan was only wearing a kaupina. He was just wearing a kaupina and he was the happiest man on the earth. Why? Tell me. And we all go and do pranam, shashtang namaskara to Bhagavan. He had nothing on him. Why do we do namaskara to him, Bhagavan? One person answer, please. Yes, sir, please answer. What was? You only, sir. The question is, why do we do? Bhagavan didn't have anything. He was wearing a kaupina. Okay? And why do we go and do namaskara to him? Tell me why. Huh? Sorry? Detachment means what? He knew the truth. If you know the truth, everybody will come to you like bees. Bhagavan had nothing to offer. Nothing. Swami Shivananda, when he was alive, what he used to do, those days, in 1940s and all, he used to buy groceries. They used to buy dal, and from a Sindhi fellow, he used to buy dal. So one day the office told him, no, we owe that Sindhi man 1.5 lakhs. Imagine those days. 1.5 lakhs, he told Swami. Shivananda said, hey, get more things from him. We should owe at least minimum 5 lakhs to him. But when Bhagwan left, when Shivananda left the body, he brought them down to zero because others cannot handle it. But important thing is this aspect that great ones are not attached to anything. We are attached. What do you say? What's your net worth? Who's the richest man in the world? How much stock he has? Right? Has that given happiness to anybody? Happiness. Has it money? If money in your pocket, it's okay. When money comes to your head, then what happens? What happens if money comes to your head? Ego. Time. I've got so much money. Correct? So that's what it is. So happiness is a state of being. You can be you go and see that, ever go to a park and see the poor people, the fellow who's selling balloon. He is the happiest man. He's very, very happy. So that's what I brought out, this aspect of sadhus. We do namaskara to a sadhu. Why? They got nothing, but they are happy. They wear an orange ochre robe and they'll be very, very happy. So we also, when we come to a minimalistic mode, when we come to minimal, then we'll be more happy. Now, this is a very important, and this is Bhagwan's teaching. Who are you really? Who are you, man? I'm trying to find out. Who are you, sir? You think the body. What about you, sir? All very good answers. Huh? I tell you, everybody is good, very good answers. This man is existence. He's come after existence. So the point really is, when you walk outside this building and somebody says, hey, who are you? Nini yarappa? Hey, Nangota. I am this fellow. I am Venkatesh. I am Ramana Maharshi Center. All those things will come up. All the ego will come up. Right? Then where existence? Will you, somebody on the road will say, existence, hey, hit this fellow. What existence? Let's see what happens to existence right now. Right? Nothing. There's nothing. It's easy to say. See, theory is very easy, right? That's what they say. Poth pandit bhayanako. It means you go on reading all the books. You will be very good in quoting from here, there, everywhere, but you will not become a pandit. Pandit means what? You will not have self-realization who you really are. So we'll try to find out in this slide who we are. Is this everybody's experience? I am a name and a form, right? If I ask you, if you send a paper around, you will write your name and you will say, whatever. I've got a name, I've got a form. That's what comes up. I'm a thinking person. I think. I've got a mind. Right? I always think. I must interact with the world. I cannot sit quietly in one place. Right? I have to interact with the world. See? So many people, somebody is going out, everybody is looking that side. Where is he going out? Who's going out? Who's coming? Slides are happening here. Going out. My Swami Shivananda, Chidananda used to say beautifully, that guy in front row, he'll be sitting like this and watching me. Everybody says, oh, look at that fellow Venkatesh. He's looking at me so attentively that he must be really thinking hard. Swami Chidananda says, that fellow is sitting here like that, his mind is somewhere else. So it's like that. I must interact with the world. I must see what has happened. What is this concept today called? Fear of missing out. FOMO. You heard of FOMO? All the Gen X, next generation talk about FOMO. I should not miss out on anything. Correct? So exactly the same thing. I must interact. I feel I am in this world. Correct? When you see this world outside you, you feel you are in this world. And you think you are limited. This is the worst thing. We buy a refrigerator and what we say? Hey, how long will it work? Or buy a car or motorcycle, how long will it work? right? But I am limited. But I want the unlimited. Universe is unlimited, right? But I want everything unlimited. My mobile should work all the time. I may feel tired, but mobile should not feel tired at any time. So in all these experiences, what is common? What is common? I am. My experience that I am a name, I am, we say. I am the thinking person. I am in this world. I am limited. So you are continuously saying I am, right? What is this I am? What does I am means? No, I am. When I say I am, what does it mean? What does it mean? That you exist, no? I exist. This whatever you may identify it with this body or whatever, I am right now. If I ask you right now, are you conscious of your existence? What will you say? Yes, I am. Then if I say I am, I add Venkatesh to that, problem. Please come, Mama. Come this side, Ma. Somebody give the pad and paper. It's here, it's at the back, it's here, in this room. Kutkoli, Ma. So this I amness is this existence. Does this table have existence? What's the nature of God? Existence, consciousness and bliss. Everybody knows that, right? Satchit Ananda. Everybody knows Satchit Ananda, correct? But what is this table? What is this table? Is it got any of these three? Existence, consciousness, bliss? Exactly. Brilliant answer. It's God existence. So this is God. This jiva, existence, conscious, bliss. What does it have? Consciousness, no. Consciousness is there. I'm conscious right now. Satchit Anand. Very simple it is. Ati Sulabham. Bhagavan says spirituality is Ati Sulabham. So this body has got consciousness? Yes or no? That's true for all of us. So it is also God. This table is also God. So existence, this is God. And where do you experience Ananda? When do you experience Ananda? What happened last night? In deep sleep, what happened? Ananda hi Ananda. We want to go there every night, yes or no? To deep sleep. Yes or no? Yeah, we want to go to deep sleep. It's Ananda. Experience your experience in Satchit Ananda. Right now, here and now. Now, we'll try and know reality. What is this reality? Okay, the first thing we'll try and understand, my experience that is God is heaven and places of worship. Yes? Correct? What is my experience? God, where is God? See, everybody will give an answer right now, it's in my heart, right? Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. Bhagavan will say, oh, Bhagavan is saying, in my cave of my heart, God is sitting there. But is it your experience? No. You have to go to the first place of worship. You have to go to Tiruvannamalai. You have to go to Shirdi. You have to go to Tirupati. You have to go all the places, no? Or people will say, God is up there, heaven, and this is hell. Down is hell. Up is heaven, right? So, my experience is God is in heaven and places of worship. Guru is a person in ashram. If I go to ashram only, I will get a guru. Correct? Yes or no? If you say no, I will talk about it. Guru is only available in ashramas, yes or no? Right? But no, you don't believe that. You don't believe it. Where else can he be? Very good. She's saying the inner guru enables the external guru and shows us the path. Very good. Another form of guru. Okay. So that's another guru. So we are trying to understand who's this guru. But nowadays they say, hey guru, hengi diya pa. आपको हिंदी में समझ में नहीं, वो हम नॉर्थ में भी बोलते हैं, अरे गुरु क्या चल रहा है? What is happening? Right? Everybody will say that guru. Is he really guru? Does he remove ignorance? Guru means what? A person who removes your ignorance. Ignorance of what? What is ignorance? Not knowing who you are. That's all. Guru just does that. He removes your ignorance. So if you say, hey Guru, hengi diya, but coffee kudiyo na, is that fellow a guru? He is not guru. But we just call him a guru. What is our reality? The world is around us, no? Do you believe that the world is here around you? You are in this world? What, sir? Do you believe that the world is around you? Yes. Yeah. Reality is that, right? Are all these separate and real? God is separate, I am separate, world is separate. Correct? God, Guru, the world and me are all separate. What is our experience? Correct or yes or no? See, we have to be very honest with ourselves. You can fool the whole world, but you can't fool who? Yourself you can't fool. When you sit quietly in a room, reality will be known by you. You'll know the reality. Is there something common between all these fellows? God, Guru. How many of you have thought about this? Is there something common? Please raise your hands if some of you have thought about this. You raised your hand. Very good, sir. What if? They all exist. Okay? That's good. So they all exist. Means what? How do they exist? Does Bhagwan exist? Yes, sir. Tell me, sir. Bhagwan says, how does he exist? He's left the body. Where does he exist? He doesn't exist anymore. What? How is he there? No, I'm saying because you have to do manana on this aspect. Very important. How does he exist? In silence, okay? Yes. So, sorry? Appear to you, okay? So that's what it's called, something that's how Bhagwan exists. Okay? See, existence may mean different things for different people. People may have dreams of God also. People may have, but existence, see, Bhagwan says, I will never, where can I go? Just think about this statement. Bhagwan says, where can I go? What does he mean by this, sir? Where can I go means what? Where can I go? Before he left the body, he told all the devotees, where can I go? What does he mean? Okay, there's no death or any destination. This means what? He died, he's gone. He's always present. So, one important thing you understand is, in this jada body, in this bag of flesh and bones, there's a reality. Okay? Now can the phone work by itself? If the phone is here, will it work by itself? Yes or no? No, that means you have to have some conscious being like me who picks up the phone and works on it. Understood? So, body is also jada. This body that you're seeing right now is also jada. Jada means what? No reality. It does not say I. But there is something conscious that has to be there to make this body work. So you get this very clearly. There has to be a conscious being. Like to operate this instrument, this is jada. It is no reality. Like that, this body also it needs some intelligence. Correct? So that's the Atma. So that's what he says. Is there something there? Is there something that links us all the four? See, when you go to Ramana Ashram, how many of you gone to Ramana Ashram? Please raise your hands. Everybody has gone to Ramana Ashram. What did you do, sir? What did you do, madam, when you went? Ages ago you went. Okay. Who went recently to Ramana Ashram? Raise your hand. Recently. Okay. Dileepa. So what did you do when you went to around the Samadhi of Bhagwan? What did you do? Yeah. One Prasad. Okay, so he did that. Now, I'll just tell you what happens. If I tell you to go on going around the Samadhi of Bhagwan or go on going around Arunachala, what are you going to do? How many of you have done Girivalam? All of you have done. So please tell me, when you do Girivalam, do you keep looking at, oh, Arunachala, 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 like this? Do you do Girivalam like that? No, do you do or not? Why? Whether you can do or not is not important. But you go on looking at Arunachala. Oh, here I can't see Arunachala. Here I see a false Arunachala. Do you do that? Once in a while you look at that Arunachala. Right? Where else are you looking for? Arunachala. This is a very important aspect of our sadhana. Shivananda says, detach, attach, detach, attach, detach, attach. Unless you attach to the real thing, you will be always looking at Arunachala in the physical form. Arunachala was a column of light, then became a hill because they wanted people to pray. Imagine if he had disappeared, there was nothing there. Then nobody would have gone to Arunachala to do Girivalam. So it became a hill. And what is Bhagavan? What is Arunachala? Arunachala is the consciousness, existence, consciousness and bliss. We just now said, right? So that is Satchidananda, that is consciousness. That's what is Arunachala. So the common thread that links everything together is consciousness, existence consciousness, existence consciousness. So we are all that Satchidananda. There is a common thread. In a this thing that you wear, in a chain that you what puts the beads together? The thread. Common thread? Common thread or not? Or does each bead have a different thread? Common thread. So there's one common thread that actually goes through all these four. Now this is getting a little deeper. Now we were a little more gross. Now we're going to go a little more subtle. He says, what is your experience? What is your experience right now? All of you have come to Ramana Ashramam, Ramana Center. What is your experience? You feel you're all human beings, right? Because there is the animal being, there's a human being, and there's a divine being. The grades of being. So, what happens? All of you believe that you are human beings, right? Trying to become divine, correct? Yes or no? All of us are trying to. Let's not fool ourselves. We're all trying to become divine. But look at what they say. The Guru says you're already divine. You're already that. Do you believe it? Do you believe that you are divine? Sir, do you believe you are divine? No, you don't believe. See, nothing wrong when saying you don't believe it. So Bhagavan is saying that you have to believe that if Bhagavan says, Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram, in the cave of your heart, I am shining as I, and it's by personal experience, you are devotees of Bhagavan, so you should have total faith in that, no? Why don't we have faith to believe that you are divine? So this is what the Gurus say, you are a divine being behaving like a human being. This is our reality. Oh, my problems, all my problems. No. This Bhagavan, there is no problem. You are divinity, you are Satchidananda Atman. Right? Swami Shivananda says, you are like a sheep, bleating like a sheep, but actually you should roar like a lion. Why? Because you are that Satchidananda Atman that runs the whole universe. The sun rises because of that, of Satchidananda Atman. The sun sets because of it. Photosynthesis happens because of Satchidananda Atman. The rains will come up and fall because of Satchidananda Atman, and each one of us is that. Can you believe it? But we don't believe it. Right? We just start believing this, believing that we are the Satchidananda Atman. Once you believe that you are that Satchidananda Atman, then what will happen? Then will you go for help for anywhere? If you are everything, if you are infinite, will you go for something finite? You won't go for anything, because from infinite, if you remove infinity, what remains? Huh? Louder. Infinity will only remain. Nothing. If you remove, from a king who owns the whole kingdom, if you remove some part of his gold, what happens to him? Nothing happens. He doesn't care. Because nothing has happened. But that's not my reality. The reality is not that which we are experiencing right now. The whole journey is that. So who am I really? We have discussed this. Who am I really? Who are you? Who are you, sir? Who are you? Your name and form. What happened in deep sleep? What happened is no name, no form. You were coming today for workshop? No, nothing was there. And dream was there, you were flying an F-16 plane. Correct? So that was the reality. So, who am I really? You have to try and understand this. This 2 days workshop is about that. It's going to ask, who am I? Why am I here in this world? So we have to ask, is there a higher purpose of this life? This life we have been given by our parents to brought us into this world. Is there a higher purpose? There must be a higher purpose, no? Right? Other monkey also gives birth. Monkey also looks after its young ones. Monkey is a sadhu. If you place money and banana, what will the monkey take? Banana, it won't touch the money. In front of a human being, if you put, what will he take? हाँ भाई साहब, आपके सामने पैसा है, बनाना, क्या लेंगे आप? क्या लेंगे आप? पैसा लेंगे. Money you will take. Nobody touch the banana because the monkey does not know that money can buy more bananas. He doesn't know that. Yes or no? Exactly. So the point is there must be a higher purpose for this life. So most people, 80 to 90% of the people, come this side, ma. Come this side. There's plenty of space here. So, is eating, sleeping, drinking, merry-making life? If you go to the world, everybody will say, oh, today is what? Weekend, Saturday, holiday, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to go to the mall, see a picture, eat outside. 99% of the people will do that. Merrymaking. I have to enjoy life. So is that life? Is something, these are all points, these are catalysts that you have to, each one of us has to think. And what is the highest state of happiness? Tell me, what will be the highest state? If I make you the king or queen of the entire world, will you be happy? If you are, see, they say, God, let us switch roles. For one day, I'll become God. Oh really? Forget that. This body you have, no. You say God doesn't do anything. This body you have, no, you manage it for one day. Then God says, okay, I'll manage, the human being says, I'll manage it for one day. Then what happens? God says, okay. Then what do you do? Morning to evening, just breathing, that's all. You can't do anything else to keep everything running. You only have to breathe. Ask an asthmatic person about breathing, he will tell you. So everything happens by God's will. God is running the whole universe and this body also. So what is the highest state of happiness? And the question is, do you want it? Do you want that highest state of happiness or not? Yes or no? I don't hear anybody. Then God is not. Bhagavan is watching from somewhere. He's watching. Oh, there he's watching. He won't give you that highest state. If you don't want it, see, this is a demand and supply situation. Okay. If there's demand is not there, supply won't come. So do you want it? Yes, all of us want it. Then only supply will come, no? So, Rumi beautifully says, just listen to this. Rumi is a great person. You are not a drop in the ocean. What is your current experience? I am one small fry in this whole universe. I am this little fellow, right? 6 foot by 2 feet little fellow, struggling in life, right? So you are one drop in the ocean. Isn't that all our experience? We believe we are one, but you are the entire ocean in a drop. Now I'll ask you one question. Is the world in your mind or are you in the world? I don't want a perfect answer. I want practical answer. Are you in the world or the world is within you? No, it can't be both. See, you can't say, Bhagavan says this is a beautiful thing. This path, is like a knife edge. I like the worldly life, one leg this side, and I like the spiritual life. Because everybody will say, hey, Venkatesh is a devotee of Bhagavan. I'll put one leg there also. Right? One leg in the world, in samsara, and in non-self, and one leg in the self. It is not possible. You can't have, either you're this side or you're that side. You can't be a fence sitter. Okay? So where is it? If I tell you go to Taj Mahal and come back, can you go to Taj Mahal now and come back? Have you gone and come back to Taj Mahal? Huh? Yes or no? I'm worried now because none of you are answering. Have you gone to Taj Mahal and come back? Yes or no? Yes, you went and came back. No. So where was Taj Mahal? In your mind. So where is the world? In your mind. Yes or no? So that's what it says. You are the entire ocean in a drop. That means that Satchidananda, which is all pervading, is also within you. That's why Bhagavan says, find out who you are. Who is this fellow? Once you know who you are, then you will know the truth about the whole ocean. If you know about the drop, you will know about the whole ocean. So important thing is, that's the journey. We have to find out who we really are. When you understand who we really are, then you will know about the whole ocean. So You are not a drop in the ocean. That means you feel, oh, I'm struggling in this world. No, you're not struggling. You are the entire ocean in a drop. So this is called one in all in one. One in all means what? One in all, what does it mean? That one is in all. All of us, that God is there in each one of us, yes or no? Yeah, one, that one is in all of you? Yeah? Hanji? हाँ, कुछ कोई गैर नहीं, कुछ और नहीं, that is truth. But वो क्या है? It has to become part of your life. See, if you are Satchidananda Atman, right? If you are Satchidananda Atman, do you behave like God, yes or no? Please tell me, do you behave like God? Do you behave like God, yes or no? No. If you're standing in a queue, then what happens? You'll break the queue. If there's somebody who comes in front of your car or your two-wheeler, hey, who are you? Where is God? You just now said God is inside me. Somebody calls you a fool. What happens? Immediately, who called me a fool? Right? Anger will come up. So you don't see that. From theory perspective, this is not. So one is in all. Satchidananda Atman is in each one of us. And all is in one. Means what? We believe in Advaita Vedanta. Bhagavan says Advaita. Advaita means what? Ekam. There is only one. When you see two people, you remember you have to do self-inquiry. If you see somebody else, that means your sadhana has to be done. More and more sadhana has to be done if you see somebody else. When you're in Dvaita, then you know that work has to be done. Okay? So this is the thing. I offer all my pranams to Bhagavan. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We'll take questions on a later time, but these are all just inputs for each one of us to do manana on. The whole journey is about Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, to be able to, now you heard all this is Shravana, Manana, like the cow, you have to chew it, chew the cud. Manana you have to do, and then practice. Practice and practice is what is needed to really understand who you really are, to be able to get the falseness out. Once the falseness is out, you realize you are that Satchidananda Atman. Namo Ramana. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkatesh ji. Venkatesh ji's typical style is to be intuitive, question, and as Bhagavan said, question the questioner here also. So he's taken us through the path of self-inquiry, he's made us enter into it. We'll now listen to Sri Nandakumar ji, who will tell us whether the mind is in the world or the world is in the mind. A brief introduction of Sri Nandakumar ji. Nandakumar ji is a regular speaker at all our satsangs, online, offline, for decades, over a decade now. And Nandakumar ji's humble background comes from a middle class family, born in Madras, did his post-graduation in commerce, then had a career in banking, human sector, human resources and other sectors. And his chance call to Bhagavan, so much like Venkatesh ji's visit to the shrine, came in the form of a book that he had to chance upon, which his daughter had got to participate in school competition. That is the way he got introduced to Bhagavan, his teachings. Then on, visits to Tiruvannamalai and interaction with our founder president, Sri A.R. Natarajan, working on his magnus opus works and books. And now, to where he is. He runs satsang at his home in South Bangalore. A regular speaker on our satsangs too. Over to Sri Nandakumar. For him, the task is to show that the world is in the mind. Over to you, sir.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. I think we can go on till 11:45 when we can break for tea. If that's all right with you? For half an hour? Yeah. Venkatesh ji has given us a very good introduction into the whole of the 2-day workshop. Anyone would like to sum up what he said, just in 2-3 lines? Yeah. Self journey. Yes? Yeah, our nature is happiness. We seem to be seeking happiness, but through self journey, we are to find that our very nature is happiness, not in the objects or not in a God outside, not in a world outside. Up to that point, he seems to have brought, I think the whole workshop is over, we can go home. But then, he has brought us to an intricacy in Bhagavan's teachings, in Advaita, that whether the world is in the mind or whether we are in the world. What does that problem indicate? Is that our experience, I will try to enunciate it. You can tell me whether you agree with that. Our experience generally is that my mind is in my body, your mind is in your respective bodies, and both these are in this world. Both these bodies are in this world. We are going for a morning walk, let's say, 2 friends chatting. Then I am chatting using my mind, which is inside my body. Murali, is chatting with me with his mind from within his body. Both our bodies are walking in Padmanabhanagar Park just after having coffee in SLV Hotel. Sri Lakshmi Venkateshwara Coffee Bar. So, is that the experience that we can associate with? That all of you, see, first of all, we have to have some common experience. Then we can take the leap forward. Like, even though you may be realized people or you may be believers in Bhagavan's teachings, for a moment, let us touch base with what is the ground reality for all of us. Is that all right? That we all experience the world, and even when Bhagavan communicates with the rest of his devotees, disciples, visitors, he seems to be assuming this kind of reality, because only this kind of reality we can understand. I was talking about my friend Murali. He is a great devotee of Bhagavan. So his approach is, whenever somebody asks what will happen tomorrow, what will be done with things, he will immediately say, Bhagavan will take care. Bhagavan will decide. His mother attained Bhagavan's feet a few months back, about 6-7 months back, and left him a home in Padmanabhanagar, which is quite valuable. It is a 30 by 40 site in Padmanabhanagar. So his relatives had all gathered around him, and I was a family well-wisher, I was also there. They were all worried that since he is this kind of person, he may be defrauded of the property. So they all were asking him, what is going to happen to this home? What is going to happen to this house? And he was going on saying, Bhagavan will take care. Bhagavan knows, why are you worried? So I had to tell him, see, you have to talk in their language. That they are still very much concerned about you. They are your close family members, they are worried about you. You are alone, and that is why they are asking. So you will have to use their language. That you will have to use the language of cause and effect. That don't worry, my monthly requirements are hardly anything. That will be easily met from these resources. So don't worry, I am not going to do anything with the property. I am just going to live in it. That's all. But then there were great devotees of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and various other teachers in the group who were talking to him. So I also asked them that why can't you understand his language? That he is only talking the language of a devotee. Why can't you understand his language? So this language seems to be very important for us to touch base with some reality. That, don't you agree that there are, though we speak Kannada, Tamil and all that, but there seem to be some spirituality languages of different degrees where we begin with Vyavaharika Satya, or what is the normal cause and effect language, in which I am a mind in my body. I also address the gathering not as though the world is in the mind, but I am addressing the gathering as though each one of you are having the mind inside your body. Is that all right? Can we begin with that reality? Correct. But Bhagavan is saying, how many of you know that Bhagavan in the talks has repeated this many times, that the world is in the mind. The world, the sensory world. The sensory world that you see is in the mind, the gross one. Which if you go into the cosmos, it extends thousands, millions, billions of light years across. All that is in the mind, says Bhagavan. The world is in the mind. Now, how many of you are devotees of Bhagavan or devotees of Advaita? Okay. From that, how many of you believe that the world is in the mind? How many of you believe that when Bhagavan says that the world is in the mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we believe. Believe means what? Because Bhagavan is saying, obviously there must be some sense to it. As a 16-and-a-half-year-old boy, he just had the fear of death, and he completely stilled his body, mind, breath, and realized that he is the deathless spirit. He is not the sensory body tied to this sensory world. He is not the mental body tied to any ativahika or any other kind of subtle body. He is not the breath-based energy bodies. He is the pure deathless spirit shining as I. And he is saying that this world is in the mind. So, about 4 or 5 of you believe that. Now, now I am talking only to those 4 or 5 who are believing. Okay. How many of you are experiencing that the world is in the mind? 1, 2, I will include Dileep ji. Now, that is where we are headed in another 10 minutes time. That it has to be an experienced reality. I am not going to ask you to retain it merely as a believed reality. I want you to understand intellectually that it is possible to be an experienced reality and then work towards it till it becomes a experienced reality for you. Are you able to understand? About 10 minutes, that is enough for us to understand this. That is where we are headed in 10 minutes. That is, we have to not believe merely, intellectually understand that this is a reality which Venkatesh ji has proposed to us, and it is a reality that is possible. We have to understand that intellectually. Then we have to work with the sadhana given by Bhagavan so that it becomes an experienced reality. Okay. We have to do, I have a small presentation from the artificial intelligence program called Gemini. So I had keyed in. Why does Bhagavan say that the world is in the mind? That the world is in the mind. Please give me a PowerPoint presentation which will answer this question according to Bhagavan. I have got that PowerPoint presentation. I am not going to use that. I will send it to you when you give the numbers to Ashwini or Revatima. We will send the PowerPoint presentation to you. You can actually write that question in AI. It gives a very beautiful answer. But that answer will give you a theoretical background. Advaitic theoretical background. We'll just run through it once we finish the point I want to make. We'll run through the presentation. You can go through that in leisure. You can key it in your Google AI. Please give me a PowerPoint presentation of why Bhagavan says, or Ramana Maharshi says, that the world is in the mind. If you put this question, you will get the PowerPoint presentation. So there is no Nandakumar's input required in that. We all now are in an age where all the libraries of the world are available to us. Only you have to generate the right question. But will you get the practical tip as to what you have to do to make this transition? The AI is not yet capable of that, and that is where the human intervention will be necessary. But we will have to understand up to what point AI can help us. You don't need to turn the pages anymore in all the books to understand how Advaita Vedanta says that the world is in the mind. All you have to do is put the right question, you will get the answer. But what is the transition we have to make this an experienced truth? Shall we go into that? We have to make a switch in our thought process, and we will have to meditate on a Vedantic shift that is to be made. The sensory experience that we have, all of us have, we experience through the sensory world. That is what I was describing as Murali and I walking in the park, Murali's body, my body, walking in the park with our respective minds in our body. This is the sensory experience. My eyes, my ears, my sense of smell, touch and taste, all these are telling me there is another sensory body that side, inside whom there is some sensitivity, extra sensitivity called as mind. He is using it, he is intelligently responding to me, I am intelligently responding to him, and we are walking in the world. Are you able to understand? That means the circadian rhythm inside each of our bodies says that this is day, this is night. There is a clock, biological clock inside our body, which the sensory body is able to experience as the cycle of day and night. But what is the cycle that Vedanta is asking us to meditate on? Can anybody tell me? The sensory cycle that we experience is the Nobel Prize winning circadian rhythm experiencing body, which has the day and night experience. There are a lot of experiments done in cyanobacteria and all. If you change the circadian rhythm, then the very ability of that organism to survive changes. That is how important the day and night are there as far as the physical body is concerned. But we are not merely restricting our inquiry to the physical body. We are inquiring, is the physical body and the world in the mind. So the physical body cycle is day and night. with me in that? What is the cycle that Vedanta is presenting to us? Yeah. Knowledge and ignorance. Okay. Not bad. Birth and death. Okay. Existence beyond everything. It's questioning whether we are able to live without identifying with the body. Yeah, all these are good pointers. I am having something simpler. And it's an important shift. That's why I asked the question, so that it registers in you. It's a simple thing known to all of us, but we will not be meditating on it. It won't, as Venkatesh ji was saying, it won't be a bone marrow reality to us. But this has to become a bone marrow reality. The shift has to be made from the day and night cycle to this cycle as a bone marrow reality. What is the cycle? It is the simple cycle of waking, dream and deep sleep. What is the cycle you have to shift? You have to shift in your thought processes very strongly to this cycle from day and night cycle. You have to shift to which cycle? Waking, dream and deep sleep. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. That covers the whole human experience. The day and night also covers the whole human experience from the sensory angle. From the sensory angle. How does the waking, dream and deep sleep cover? It covers the whole of human experience. You don't need any more cycles. You don't need 7-day cycles. You don't need 365-day cycles. You don't need the yuga cycles. The waking, dream, deep sleep covers the bigger macro cycles. It covers the micro cycles also. You will see how. Every moment, waking, dream, deep sleep is available to us for enquiry. That's what you will be seeing over these 2 days. That waking, dream, deep sleep is not merely 16 hours, 8 hours. It is available every moment. What Bhagavan said as, here and now, where can I go? That was how Venkatesh ji finished. So Bhagavan is available to us here and now as the source of waking, dream and deep sleep. That means we have to shift from the day and night to waking, dream and deep sleep. Why should we shift? That is physical, this is mental. If you want to understand really that the world is in the mind, you have to make this switch in enquiry from the day and night to waking, dream and deep sleep. You should always be talking to yourself, not to any other person, to yourself. Because where is Venkatesh ji saying? Is the happiness. In us, as our own reality, which is the reality of God, world and whatever you want, all those realities are in us, he says. But first, we have to make this transition, which if you don't make, your enquiry will leak out. You will once again go back into the sensory area day and night and check whether our bank balance is all right, insurance is all right, properties are going to be registered or not. All those things will come if you go to day and night. Whereas, how many of you have slept during day? Correct. How many of you have remained awake during night? Correct. Therefore, which is dependent on which? Which cycle is dependent on which cycle? See, during day, you can go and sleep. Then the day is not there. Okay, that means by going to sleep, which probably all of you are doing right now. No? hopefully not, that by going to sleep, you can cancel out Nandakumar. This fellow may be shouting in the waking state whatever he wants. You have had a wonderful masala dosa, Saturday, got up, now it's all becoming alcohol and going off, and gone. Nandakumar is gone. My mother had hypoglycemia. The attack came. And me and her attendant were standing right in front. When the sugar levels dropped, she was saying, Engada, Nandu, Engada, ni karupa irukku ore. That means the sensory perception is totally dependent on the nature of consciousness. If your consciousness is not strong enough to access and identify with the senses, there is no waking state. That fellow is gone. Attendant is gone, Nandakumar is gone, the other body is gone, world is gone. She was literally going away from this world. Just a few measurements of sugar down. 40, immediately pump her with all kinds of sweets. Then the energy levels go up and she is able to access her senses. That means my physical existence is totally dependent on how conscious you all are. What is the shift we have to make? The shift we have to make is from sensory experience and day-night cycle to mental experience and Jagrat Swapna Sushupti cycle. You have to make to understand this truth that it is not that the mind is in the world, the mind is in the body. That is not true. It is the world that is in the mind. This question is asked of Bhagavan, that there is a clarification asked of Bhagavan, that how can you say that the world does not exist when we are sleeping? I have given you proof how in sleep it does not exist. Hypoglycemia, finished. Your sugar levels are all happily in the 100 to 400 range. So you are able to see me. If it comes down to 20, 25, finished. No Nandakumar, no physical world. So that means the consciousness has to be kept up by that Ishvara Shakti, by providing all the energy you need. Then only this state is there. So what is the shift you have to make? You have to make the shift from the sensory perception, the physical perception of day and night, to that which it is dependent on the level of consciousness you have. It may be day, but if that fellow is asleep, it is as good as not day. Night a cycle is not there. It may be night, but you are serving a boss in US. The salary you are going to get is dependent. You are awake. It is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That fellow says the project is not over. If you don't stay up to 6 o'clock, I am not going to send the check this month. Wait. We have all probably studied, because we did not study during the 6-month semester. I have studied throughout the night because all the 6 months were spent like that. Suddenly on exam date, go through the whole night of study. So we have stayed awake throughout the night, isn't it? So the Jagrat can overcome, not for much time, that is still limited according to our energies. But this transition you have to make. Unless you make this transition, you are not going to understand ever that the world is in the mind. This is not there in AI presentation. Okay, this can come only from experience. That's why Bhagavan says that scriptures and books and AI can help you only with the data. But the real help comes from Anubhava, the experience of somebody who has walked that path. Then you will get that small tip which is required for you to make that shift from one reality to another, one language to another. This is a new language you have to learn. From the language of cause-effect, how they had to shift to language of surrender, we have to shift from language of day-night to language of Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. That means all these people whom you are seeing are there in your Jagrat. All of the rest of us, for each of you, now each of you are separate now. Each of you are in your own Jagrat. In your Jagrat, the rest of us are there. If you go up to Sushupti now, will the rest of us be there? No. That means the rest of us are all there in your mind, in your waking state, correct? Therefore, that waking state is part of your Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, which is there in mind. Therefore, we are all, the world is all in your mind. When you keep meditating on, I am in Jagrat, I am in Jagrat, I am in Jagrat, I am in Jagrat, rest are there. Somebody asks Bhagavan, but when I wake up from sleep, they come and tell me that the world was there. When you were sleeping, the world was there, Bhaiya. So the world is real. How will you answer that? Anybody can help me out? Bhagavan's answer is there, we can always say. But are you able to answer, understand the question? Yes, what is that? That is what. That is fair. That is what Bhagavan says is that were they present in your Sushupti, they are all the persons whom you are seeking as witness. They are all coming back only when you come back to Jagrat again. Only in your Jagrat, those people are there. If your hypoglycemia is there, they are not there. If you are going to Sushupti, they are not there. This not there you have to understand, like if you have a skin kept in a petri dish, shift it to a slide and keep it under an electron microscope, will you see the skin? You have a skin, with the eyes you see, it will be a skin, okay? If you put it under electron microscope or a normal microscope, will you continue to see the skin? No, your drishti has become more fine. In that place of the skin, you will be seeing some microbe going on from this side to that side to this side. That means really skin is not there if you can see properly. But we don't deal life at that level. Therefore, fortunately, we are back with Dileep ji, Venkatesh ji and Nandakumar. Otherwise, it will all be microbes. Microbes will have to deal with microbes. But fortunately, some range, like sugar range, some seeing range has been kept, and in that range of reality, we exchange. But what is the really real? The really real is that that is the self of all. But before that, we have to understand that the world is in the mind, and each one of us is responsible to understand this. No help. You can't expect your friend to come and help you. You can't expect Ramana, whom he said passed away in that day, to come and help you as a Jagrat entity, as an entity merely present in the Jagrat Avastha. Because if you go to sleep in front of him in Ramanashram, he will not be there. So the world is in the mind, will be realized by you when you shift from day-night cycle of the sensory physical body to the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti cycle, which is of the mind. And clearly understand that the sensory cycle is present only in Jagrat. Even in your own Swapna it cannot come. Are you able to understand? Correct. Even in your Swapna, but why Bhagavan does not take the Swapna example to delete the Jagrat example? Why? Because there, your Swapna, my Swapna, their Swapna will still remain. Therefore, he directly goes to deep sleep. He doesn't take the help of Swapna to delete Jagrat as a reality. He takes directly to deep sleep where the mind itself is not there, where Jagrat and Swapna is not there. That is where we are going to go as ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is beyond the divided realities of Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. The self beyond Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti is where Venkatesh ji is going to take us. But right now we haven't gone there. We have gone to the enquiry that we are not the mind caught in the body, walking in the park with another body. We are the mind which is having the entire world in it, with the option of getting limited by identifying with the physical body, or option of freeing itself by identifying with the thoughts. By identifying with the thoughts, with the clarity that Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti are mental states, you understand the sensory world is in the mind and not the other way around. We will still have other sessions to deepen our understanding in this area. You can take the AI presentation either by keying in or getting the download from Revati Ma. I have not used it. We can go for tea and I think resume with Dileep ji. Namaste.
Thanks, Nandakumar ji, for bringing that parallel with what is on today. That scriptures and AI are in one bucket. They can only take you to an extent, like a typical swimming session that is taken on theory. So very beautifully elucidated. Maybe we need rounds of this again and again to again understand and delve and be where we are. Thank you very much. As Nandakumari said, we will break for tea now and then reassemble in maybe 15 minutes time for Dileep ji's session. Thank you. I think we were okay with the first two sessions, entering the path of self-inquiry and knowing that the world is in the mind. But I suppose the storm in the teacup has stirred the mood point. This is something that Dileep will talk to us on. A brief about Dileep. Dileep was born in Tumkur, a software engineer by profession. He runs his own company, highly successful at that. Like anybody else, his chance meeting with Bhagavan or intro to Bhagavan happened in the way of a cassette. If it was a visit to the shrine for Venkatesh ji, a book for Nandakumar ji, it was a cassette for Dileep ji. That was on Upadesh Saram, Kannada rendition, and the talk by Brahmaji of Chinmaya Mission. Since then, he is caught on, it's only incidental that this is the topic given to him. Mano Nasha was something which he was supposed to be impressed way back. To talk on the same subject, to hear from him will be a pleasure. Over to you, Dileep ji.
Namo Ramana. To start with a prayer. Dhyayet Sharada Chandra Sundaramukam Tamraravindekshana Bhaktabhishtavarabhayapradakaram Kaupinamatrodjvalam Svatmanandarasanubhutivivasham Sarvanavadyangakam Shrimantam Shri Ramaneshwaram Guruvaram Yogasanadhyasitam Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahmamatram Yahamahamiti Sakshat Atmarupena Bhati Hridi Vishamanasa Swam Chinvata Majjatava Pavana Chalanarodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam. Namo Ramana. We have been wonderfully brought onto the path of self-inquiry by Venkatesh ji, and very beautifully telling or putting a kind of rules that we need to adhere to embark on this path of knowing our own self, and how Nandakumar ji further in his very short and a very sweet session took us from the plane of the body, the senses, which we often take to be ourself. As Venkatesh ji said, we often take ourselves to be this name and form. And Venkatesh Nandakumar ji very beautifully said that there is something beyond it, which is the mind. And if we move away from the experiences we have from the form and look little subtler into the mind, we see that we individually have these three states of experience every day: the waking, the dream, and the sleep, which is more mental in nature. And whenever there is this waking state, or whenever there is the rise of the mind, and Bhagavan beautifully says, for all of us, we can relate that whenever the mind rises, we know it rises in the state of dream and in the state of waking. Whenever it rises, there is a world created along with it. In the dream, as soon as the mind rises, the dream world is created, a dream individuality is created, and again the dream all people are created. And it all looks very real at that point in time. That's what Bhagavan very beautifully emphasized. In the dream, none of us will know that it is a dream. It will be a very much a reality for us. And if there is something fearful that is happening in the dream, we may even scream and wake up. So it is so real for all of us. So the mind is where the world is. And that we can very much relate looking at our dream experience. And very beautifully Nandakumar ji said that in my dream, all the people that I see are all created by me only. All of them, all the world that I am seeing is all done by me, but yet there is a sense of separation in it. That I am separate, they are separate, the world is separate. That is something that we can see even in the dream, when the mind, and we all know, we all have had dream, and this is no big thing, and Bhagavan is bringing the natural experience that we are having, which we have taken it for granted, right? We just have dreams, we don't think about them. We think, we wake up, the maximum we think about the dream is, oh, it was a dream, and just throw it away, right? But here Bhagavan is revealing subtler truths of ourself, how we experience ourself as an individual. In the dream, there is a dream individual. Similarly, in the waking, we have the individual thing. And we have seen that the dream world or the waking world is all in the mind. And whenever this mind wakes up, we are going to experience that the world, though we see that we are in the world, but it is actually the world is within me. So we have come to that state. So we are now going to look at this mind more clearly. Okay? So the first thing I have put is, let us reflect on the mind using the mind. We have to look at it that way only. Right? So we will start looking at that. Before we get into the mind, why we want to deal with the mind is a very important subject that we need to, or something that we need to understand. Why do we have to deal with the mind? Because the famous Upanishadic statement is Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayoho. That mind is the single factor why we experience limitation, and it is through the mind alone we will also experience the unlimited. This is the Upanishadic statement. Upanishad means when all the research has been done and the final jewel crest of truth is found. They have been all documented in the Upanishads in our Indian tradition. So, when the Upanishad is saying, Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayoho, we know it is only because of the mind we become limited. We looked at the dream, we looked at the waking, how we become an individual, though everything has been created in the mind. But the other side of it, how to become free of it, of that limitation, is what Bhagavan is going to take us through self-enquiry. To become limited seems to be very natural, coming to all of us, right? Whenever the mind rises, it is so easy to identify with this name and form, become limited only to this, and think they are all not me. It is very easy. It is so naturally given to all of us. But Bhagavan is going to take us through a journey to see the moksha, the other side of things, which is something we have not, though it is present, we are not giving a due attention to it. So he is going to take our attention to it. So very important thing to understand here is, it is the mind which creates a sense of bondage, and it is only the mind which will create a sense of liberation in it. And Bhagavan goes on to say, mind is a divine power rising from the self. It's a divine power from self. When we say, if you think it is God, you can say it as a divine power rising from God. If you think it is Brahman, a divine power rising from Brahman. If you think if it is the soul, you can say it is a divine power rising from the soul. So it is that power which has risen from the soul and creates a sense of limitation. But again, it is the same power which we can go use it to track it back to the source, to the self, to the Brahman, to the God. And Bhagavan gives a beautiful example of how a dog traces back to the master through the scent. Like that, we can use the mind to trace ourselves back to the source. In Aksharamana Malai, Bhagavan gives this beautiful example, how a dog can sniff and find out who the master is. Like that, we can use the mind which is there with us to get back to our nature or our true self, or the truth, or the self, or the Brahman. So that's why Manas is the very important subject that we need to deal in spirituality. Sir, Aksharamana Malai verse she wants for that dog. I know only the meaning, I don't know the exact verses. Sorry. So in Bhagavad Gita, the first 6th chapter, it is famously, we can classify it as, it's all describing us as an individual, the Jiva. The next 6th chapter we can look at it is all description of God, Ishvara. And the last 6th chapter, we can look at it as the unification of the truth, the Brahma, the God and the Jiva. In that, the 6th chapter, Krishna says, whoever has conquered this mind, that mind becomes his friend. Whoever has not conquered this mind, that very mind becomes his enemy. We can all see it, right? If there is a thought which is rising in us and which has captured our attention, if I cannot conquer that thought, if I cannot win over that thought is going to drag me into whatever it is. If it's a good thought, it will make me go and do that good. If it's a bad thought, it will drive me into doing something which is it wants. So the conquering is whether I can see the rising of the thought, I can see the going away of the thought, but is it actually captivating me? Is it capturing my full attention? So if you look at it, whenever if you have not conquered, whatever thoughts are coming in us, we are simply following it. And we see this as a very phenomenal, like psychological patients, when we talk about, they talk about this mind being uncontrollable and dragging their attention again and again to too many things. In many of us, it may happen at regular intervals where we don't get control over the mind, and the mind captures our attentions and makes us do something. So whenever what Krishna is saying, if the mind is not in your control, then it is like an enemy which can always take your attention away. So very important why we need to deal with the mind. This is the next reason which Krishna gives. Then a friendly mind is like, what can the world and the senses give? It can give pain, pleasure. All dualities come when we are dealing with the world. Something I like, something I don't like. Something which is joy and something which is sorrowful. Right? These are the things that come from the senses, from the world. A friendly mind can help me deal with it equally. Whether it's a joyful situation or a sorrowful situation, I can deal with it equally. But if the mind is not friendly, if I am in its thing, it can go on to tell how that person who created the sorrow is so evil, and what I need to do to him, what I need to plan against him, how far I have to go to disturb him. So I can get carried away by that. But a friendly mind, that means a conquered mind, a mind within my control, says, okay, these things come, these things go, these changes happen, nothing is permanent. It has come, it is going to go away. We can see it in a very clear light. So a friendly mind and an enemy, a mind which is an enemy, is very important for us to recognize. And Bhagavan shows that, as I said, because the mind rises from the self, from the divine source itself, it is both the path and it's also the destination where it is going to take us. So that is the beauty of the mind, to understand the mind. So we will try to look at it. So now, how do we reflect the mind using the mind? Right? So, when we look at outside, when we turn inward using the mind, not to chase any object, that is the enquiry. Okay? The enquiry is, a thought comes, I am simply following the thought, I get into action, everything happens without my control. But if I subtly sit and do inquire, why does this thought rise? Why am I to follow it? What am I going to get? A reflection of the thought is which has to be done. A simple example of a reflection is an experience. It's not a logical thing. A simple thing, when Nandakumar ji was beautifully talking, I could have taken the body to be very real for me. But a reflection, a subtle reflection makes me see that there is something beyond the body, which is the mind. Or another example which one of the Swamiji was giving was that a rich merchant, he had gone to Kashi. Right? And in Kashi, those days, it is lot of people taking a dip from the river, coming with all that muddy foot. They go into the Vishwanath Mandir, they put water, they throw the flower. It's a very small time they get to be with Ishvara there. So they do all of it. And there are cows standing all around waiting for somebody to give that mala, because that is a food for them. So he goes and he sees this. He has worn a very beautiful white dhoti, white kurta, everything. And for him, it's like, okay, if I want to do the pranam to Vishwanath, but this is very muddy things here, how do I do it? So he is little caught. This dress is going to become all dirty and bad. So he takes a few steps back, and he is thinking, what next? And then one of the pandits sees that he is a very rich man, right? So, Swamiji, merchant ji, ajaye, namaste kijiye. That's what he says, I believe. And when this merchant tries to move, his dhoti gets stuck to the door and it gets torn. Okay. Now, he understands his dhoti is torn. Then this Panditji asks him, what happened to your dhoti? He said, it got stuck to the door and it got torn. Oh, it got to the door and it got torn. And the merchantji reflects there and he says, no. It is Shiva who torn the dhoti. Just for this dhoti, I wanted to miss the opportunity to prostrate to Shiva. I was so much thinking that this dhoti is important, I didn't want to prostrate to Shiva, and he tore my dhoti. In a way, he made me recognize it is nothing. You are missing a great opportunity. So, that is the reflection we are talking about. That means whatever our day-to-day experience which are happening, we may simply not reflect much. We may take it as for granted. This reflection, what we are looking at is, Why is this? What is the subtle meaning that it is trying to communicate? If you watch any of the Ramdas talks in YouTube about Neem Karoli Baba, and many, especially connected to miracles done by Neem Karoli Baba, which Ramdas ji talks about, he gives beautiful reflections of what Baba was communicating to him through all those miraculous things that were happening. And very beautiful to listen to how the reflections have been brought about. So there is this just a plain worldly experience that we can see, or we can go a subtler below and reflect on everything that is happening. In a sense, everything is an opportunity to prostrate to that Shiva, and everything the mind is stopping us from doing it. We can look at it from that perspective, right? So everything is an opportunity and the mind is blocking us from doing it. In fact, in a very Vedantic thing, as Nandakumar ji said, everything is me only in the waking state, but it is the thought which is limiting me to not see that Shivam, that is the entirety. So every thought is, if we just get carried away by it, or if we give lot of attention to it, I miss out the opportunity to prostrate to Shiva. I bet get limited to that thought. But at the same time, if I can reflect, it gives me an opportunity to transcend that and to become one with the Shiva, that is the unity, the one unity, unified truth which is there. So every moment this opportunity presents itself to all of us. Moment to moment to moment to moment, when the mind is risen, this opportunity to see everything is one is equally available as much as to be limited. So this reflection, this vichara, this enquiry, which Bhagavan has given as self-enquiry, is a very beautiful thing, moving us from a sense of limitation to being the truth that we verily are. So if you look at, now that we have understood what reflection or what we are trying to do, we can look at it more broken down as reflection as a process, reflection as with purpose, reflection as perception, and then reflection as functioning. I'll try to break it up a little bit further for our better understanding. Okay. As a process, what is mind? Is it a single thought? Is anybody having a mind which is having one thought from morning till evening? No, right? Is it a set of thoughts? No, it's a flow of thoughts, right? As and when the mind rises, we can experience that it is not a single thought, it is not a set of thought, but it is a flow of thoughts. Are all of us agree with it? There is absolutely no breakage in the flow of thoughts as soon as the mind wakes up. And I mean, last time I gave this example and it turned out to be a very bad example. But just for the sake of example, I will say it. There comes an opportunity in all of our life, should I marry or should I not marry, right? The answer to that, if I say yes or no, does it stop there? We don't know. If it is yes, whom should I marry? Where should I marry? It's a flow of thoughts. So anything you deal with a thought, it is just going to be one hooking up to the other one and flowing like a continuous stream of thoughts with some sort of a purpose. Behind that thought, below is there is a subtler thing called bhavana. The bhavana in which I pursue a particular thought. Right? Bhagavan says, bhavana balat bhakti ruttama. If the bhavana is strong, that thought will be very strong. If I want that ice cream, that If there is a scream for that ice cream within me, that bhavana is very strong. I will do anything to get that ice cream for myself. So this bhavana is very important. And this bhavana is what it could be outward turned towards objects, or it can be internally turned towards the self, which is called as the sadbhavana. When it is turned towards the self, to know one's own, as I said, any thought is limiting our, we have expanded as the entire universe, but the thought is limiting us to an individual. That is the bhavana in which we are working with objects. But if our bhavana is to be always connected to everything as one unified thing, if I want to see, if that is the bhavana I am holding on to, which is what we can call as the sadbhavana, then I am going to start seeing it that way. So the bhavana bhala is very important, says Bhagavan. So even in enquiry, even in reflection, if the bhavana in which we do the reflection matters a lot. Bhavana can be cultivated, it can be imagined, it is the force which sustains the thought. Right? If the bhavana is that I want to make money, right? I may have continuous various thoughts of making money. It may be investing in stock market, it can be buying real estate, it can be in buying gold, it can be doing business, it can be anything. So it is the bhavana which is giving lot of energy to that flow. And some of it could be imaginary also. But the importance here again is whether the bhavana is sadbhavana. If it is a sadbhavana, then it turns us away from these limited approaches to becoming the truth that we very naturally are. So we will look at it more in the next slides. Venkatesh ji brought out very beautifully, we want to have unalloyed happiness. Happiness which is continuous. Right? So the purpose of the mind, whatever thoughts if you see, why we are getting a thought, why did you have a thought to come to this workshop? Because you are going to find something new, due to which you will find some happiness. That's what some of you very beautifully said. So anything that we do, whether we invest in stock market, whether I study a diploma or a degree course, or I marry somebody, whatever may be the action with which I do in a thought, I am looking for that happiness. That's what Bhagavan beautifully says. So the purpose of thoughts is only to, one of the things we can say is to find the happiness. Okay? But that is not only thing. With thoughts we also gain knowledge. And the Upanishad classifies this knowledge as Prakritika, Sanskritika or Kritakritya. So we will look at it. Prakritika is very simple. Well, if there is a food, I want to go, I want to eat it. It's there, that knowledge is there in a crow, it's there in me, it's there in a squirrel, it's there in everything, in all animals. The knowledge of food and I need to eat, the knowledge of procrastination, or all of that is common in all of us. So the Prakritika knowledge is one approach of using the thoughts. The purpose of the thoughts is for the Prakriti, the normal thing that we all want to have. And it is common. But we, the human beings, being a little bit an intellectual being, we need to start to rise above this Prakritika. Today, fortunately or unfortunately, the world is becoming very materialistic, very Prakritika. The more I want to have, the more of gold, the more of real estate, the more of all the material things, knowing very well that none of them come to me or stay with me forever. So it is important for us to rise beyond this prakritika purpose. That is when the sadbhavana comes to help. When we hold on to sadbhavana and when we try to look at, inquire more and more towards who am I? What do I refer to as I? Where do these thoughts rise from? Where do they go back when they go back? When I start going internally, not out, I can use the thought to gain materialistic objects, but when I use the same approach, reflection to go back, then it becomes what is known as sanskritika. That means it purifies mind, my limitations. And Nandakumar ji used to say, there is lot of granthis, or Bhagavan says lot of granthis are there. Granthis is what? To limit the consciousness to an object, thinking that that is the source of happiness. There is lot of such granthis which are within us, which makes us, that is what is driving us to think that the happiness is there, happiness is there, happiness is in the objects, happiness there is in the material, happiness is in this accomplishment. So these granthis are there. When we turn inward, and try to go towards the self, where do these thoughts come from? Who am I? When I turn inside, slowly, and Bhagavan says even one thought stopped like that takes us a long way, because it removes that granthi. These all, because it is object, it is jada only, but it is subtler. It is not something like you can see a knot and untie it. It is very subtle granthis which are there. A lot of them are there. Lot of them makes me, when Venkatesh ji was saying, I feel I am this name and form. That granthi is very strong, isn't it? We don't even know where that granthi is. But it is the granthi with which we work every day from morning till evening. No matter we may hear that I am the self, I am the Brahman, I may read lot of Upanishads book, but this granthi is very strong. It is what is driving me to believe that I am this name and form, isn't it? So it cannot be removed, Bhagavan says, by intellectual understanding. It can be only removed going back to the truth which is there at the substratum. There is the pure being consciousness, which Venkatesh ji talked about, that is free of these granthis here and now. So every time going back to it, these granthis simply wither away. It is by the grace of the Guru, by dipping back in the truth, these granthis just starts to vanish. What effort we can do is every time invoke that grace, invoke that self within us by not becoming, we can have the prakritika thing only enough for our day-to-day living. Like we need to, if you go to if we see that we can, what is the day-to-day things we need? Probably roti, kapada or makan. These are the three things that we need. If there is enough food, 2 or 3 times in a day, if I have a nice shelter to stay and I have warm cloth or a nice cool cloth for summer, that is enough for prakritika. But do we live like that? We don't live like that. We take the prakritika to be very real and we are going on accumulating things. But if we keep it to the minimalistic that is required and spend more of our time and effort towards going to the truth, and by going towards the truth with inquiry every time, the mind becomes more and more sanskritika, becomes more and more subtle. It loses many of these granthis which cannot be removed by reading a book. Because reading a book, I know that I am Brahman. it becomes another new granthi, another new bondage in us. This is another bondage which we have to get over. But I am Brahman is the reality. So I need to experience. And Nandakumarji was beautifully calling all of us for that experience, not for the knowledge. So it is only by diving within, taking the mind to its source, all these granthis untie, then finally comes the kritakritya. When all the granthis go away, the truth will shine effortlessly. It is the granthis which are now making me believe this world is real, I am in this world. All of them are granthis. When I remove all these granthis with sadhana, so sadhana is not to gain the truth, says Bhagavan. Sadhana is to move away from these unreal limitations to the fullness which is present in all of us every moment. So if we, and only by diving to the truth, we have to note down this very clearly. As Nandakumarji and Venkatesh say, we have to get into the bone marrow. If this is the one thing that we need to understand, it is that by only dipping back into the truth, all these granthis can be removed. It cannot be removed by intellectual understanding. So the enquiry, who am I, not only takes us from the prakritika, it takes us and makes us dip in the self. And which Nandakumarji is going to talk in the next session. Therefore, it helps us to get over this. It makes us mind become subtler and finally makes us recognize the truth which is naturally present. That is the kritakritya. And we see in Upanishads they talk about uha, uha, hu. That means silence. All these imaginary bonds, knots that were there is all broken. There is nothing binding me now to the thoughts, nothing binding me to an action. I become experientially free from all of it here and now, and that is my nature, I recognize. And that is such a freedom. Right now the mind is tearing me, dragging me to what it wants. My actions are dragging me to what I want. But when I go on dipping in the self, I find this all these granthis go away, and the kritakritya, the natural truth of me, is found to be untouched by whatever I have done. And to recognize and to realize the truth is only possible again by the mind. Therefore, the mind which was outward turned becomes binding. The mind which is inward turn becomes the moksha karaka. Just looking at thoughts, there is this person saying, I don't know if you can read it, for a pair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. Okay. So, in the sadhana, we may wonder, I have different kinds of thoughts. I have thoughts related to money. I have thoughts thinking that I am a male. I am having thoughts thinking I am a female. I am having thoughts saying I am a father. I have lot of thoughts pertaining to being a son. I have lot of thoughts pertaining to being an employee. Lot of thoughts pertaining to being a CEO. Now, how can I deal with various thoughts? Bhagavan's help comes here very beautifully. Like the elephant which flattens the tree, now everybody can climb. The fish also can climb, the monkey also can climb, everything can be now on the tree. In a similar fashion, Bhagavan unifies all thought as being rising only after the I thought rises within us. So it is the I thought which gives rise to all this different type of thought. So the I thought is the most important thought. So he doesn't ask us to deal with all the branches, all the trees, leaves of the various thoughts. He says, go to this root thought, I thought, find out what it is. If you uproot it, all others will go away with it. That is the beauty of Bhagavan's teaching. I think I may have 2 more slides. Am I good? Okay. So perception, Bhagavan says very beautifully, is when the mental activity is there, as Nandakumar ji very beautifully said, we see that something is awake, some objects are there. So we perceive objects when the mental activity is there, right? So we looked at this first itself. Whenever the mind rises in waking and dream, we see some perception rise. We see the objects come, and we see the complete absence of it in deep sleep. Bhagavan goes one step further in talk number 25, very beautifully explaining to B.V. Narasimha Swami. He says that whatever you are seeing, various perceptions you are seeing in the waking and in the dream, right? Various things we may see, right? Something good, something bad, something of different names and forms and all of it. Bhagavan goes on to say it is all because of the ego I. In the waking and the dream, it's all the perception created by the ego. And the absence of all of it, there is, when we go to sleep, do we know we are a male? Do we have this question for self-realization? Do we have this question for need to get somewhere with sadhana? Or whether I am a CEO or my employment related questions? I don't have anything in my deep sleep. So Bhagavan says very beautifully, there the self is being experienced. All perception there in the deep sleep is that of the self, of the truth. That means what Bhagavan is saying, if we combine these two things, right? If we can consciously, in the waking, we are conscious of the thoughts and the perception. In the dream, or in the sleep, we know that there is no perception, but we cannot know at the time of the sleep that there is no perception. Only after waking we say, in sleep I did not see anything. But if I can consciously sleep now, that is when Bhagavan says that the truth can be experienced as it is. That means let all things happen as it is. Like in sleep, if I am not perceiving it, and if I am established in that light which is revealing all of this to me, here and now, I am experiencing myself. That is the beauty, that possibility Bhagavan brings to us. That you can have a waking sleep. Let whatever happen. And you can remain that. And there's this beautiful incident when a devotee brings lot of fruits and keeps it in front of Bhagavan, and a monkey will be watching, obviously, to have its fruit. Finally, it gets an opportunity, it goes and picks up the fruit. For whatever reason, it looks at Bhagavan, Bhagavan looks at the monkey. Both of them are in still. Bhagavan is still, the monkey is also still, and it is like that for a lot of time. And then suddenly the monkey decides to go out taking the fruit, and Bhagavan says, Enda samrajya kattupore. What universe are you going to build moving away from that silence? So we have to, this has to hit us. It has to recognize that in the deep sleep, I did not have any of this trouble. It is only my attention to the mind and thinking and giving it a lot of reality is making me get into this imaginary troubles that I am having. So when I wakefully sleep to whatever the mind is throwing at me, that means when the mind does not bind me anymore, it is no more bandhakaraka. It is not limiting me, not creating that binding to me, then even if the thoughts are rising within me, we can say the mind is not there, right? Because it is not affecting me anymore. And that is what exactly is Manonasha, which is what Bhagavan says that is possible for all of us. So then whatever thoughts may be required for us to function in the world may come, and the body may perform those things, but internally I am never going to get bound with it, which is happening right now, which will not happen. So for that, as Venkatesh ji was saying, I can't put one foot on the world and one foot on the self and try to go parallelly. I have to take the step away from the objective things, because when I give reality to some thoughts, which is very important for me to lead a life and everything, that getting entangled with those thoughts becomes a habit in me. So I can't remove it when certain other things, I can't make that decision. So I may get carried away with it. So I have to recognize the natural freedom of myself. When I get back to the natural freedom of myself, then in that natural freedom, from that natural freedom, I can allow the body, the mind, all to function as it is. But it is not possible by an intellectual understanding of putting one foot conveniently on the objective or the mind which perceives objects and the other foot on the inward journey. Very, very important for us to recognize that. So, I think I am in the last slide. Functioning of the mind. Bhagavan says, mind can function only in two modes, sleep or grasping. And that's what we looked at, right? In the sleep, whatever we are discussing, if it doesn't understand, it goes to sleep. Very simple. Whatever we are discussing, we have all found it in mathematics class in our childhood. Very difficult to understand. Like the jackal which decides the grape is sour, we say this mathematics is hard to understand, we sleep to it, that's all. Or if we are grasping it, if we are understanding the mathematics that is being taught to us, we understand the beauty of addition, multiplication, division, how it helps us. We understand how numbers can be substituted with A, B, variable numbers, which is not actual numbers, which is variable, A, B and all of it, and how algebra comes from it, and how that formula can be used to solve general problem. If I have to cook bisibele bath, I have to say 2A, 2 cups of rice, plus 2B, 2 cups of the dal. I can give the whole formula in which I can cook the bisibele bath. So once I understand mathematics in that level, it is beautiful. It's very fantastic. But if I don't understand mathematics, I think, okay, this addition, multiplication, division, it is different for whole numbers, it is different for fractions, it is different for decimal systems. Oh my God, it is all so confusing. I don't like this mathematics. What will the mind do? It will simply go to sleep. So anything from now on, whenever you feel tired, sleepy, not grasping, recognize that something is not getting into you. If you start getting interest in that subject, want to know more, that means something is being grasped there. That's what Bhagavan says. That is the only two modes it functions, Bhagavan says. And we looked at how once the I thought rises, the mind projects outward into multiplicity, and the I thought is the first division, Bhagavan says. I, when I rise as I, in the dream also I rise as I, in the waking also I rise from sleep as I. Whenever the first I thought rises, all divisions rise with it, and all of them is imaginary divisions. It's all nothing but a thought. And because the bhavana is so strong behind it, we are right now thinking that how can I unite this? It is not possible for me to unite this. But once I start going towards the self, as the same drop is the ocean, when I start to understand, when the same gold has become all the jewelries, when I understand, then, or the same water has become the ocean, the wave, everything, when I understand. Similarly, the existence consciousness itself has become everything, whether it is an ant, whether it is a human being, whether it is a tree, all of them know they exist, all of them know they are conscious of it. So the existence consciousness is the material or the common thing, the thread which is beyond all these differences. Once I move away from the thoughts, multiplicity, and try to go to the source, I find that the unified truth is there. So Bhagavan says the mind cannot function without that pure consciousness. The mind cannot grasp. It is the pure consciousness which is there behind it which makes us recognize it. But what does the mind claim? I did it, I knew it, I wanted, I understood. But definitely it cannot. So this recognition, this reflection is what is important. Without awareness, the mind cannot function. So we will next go to looking at who am I, and looking at that natural awareness which is effortlessly given to one and all, not just to the human beings, it is given to one and all. Thank you. Namo Ramana.
Thank you, Dileep sir, for taking us through this insightful session, mastering the mind. Unless you master the mind, it will master you, as the Gita Acharya says in the 6th chapter. And also to get rid of the granthis as and when you delve deep and deeper. Thank you, Dileep ji. Now I would request Nandakumar sir to kindly talk to us on understanding self-inquiry. This will be followed by a Q&A session. We have 45 minutes, then we can combine both. Maybe it's the choice of the speaker. So if questions come by in between, he's okay to that, is what he's saying. So be ready with the questions, because I saw the headmaster relaxing there. If not, he will ask the questions. Over to you, sir.
So we have come to a key portion in our self-inquiry workshop, where we have an overall understanding of the fact that we are seeking happiness, and that we have been seeking it in the wrong place perhaps. That and by that seeking itself, we imply something. By seeking it in the objects, we imply it is not in us. By seeking in us, we don't imply it is not there in objects. It could be that we have gone with Bhagavan and say that God is omnipresent, or the self is omnipresent, happiness is omnipresent, therefore it is also in me. Or it could be that Bhagavan has asked that we should seek it inside us. From inside out, we recognize that the self is the soul presence. There is no subject-object division. Dileep ji has brought us very nicely to the point that we don't need to inquire about the whole mind, whether it is the process of visible bath making, or whether it is a collection of thoughts, or whether it is a flow of thoughts. We don't need to worry about, because that seems to be so complex and huge. Ramana has done some scientific work for us, and given us something which we can wrap our mind around, which we can understand. He says, Vrittayastvaham prittimashritaha vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha. I hope you have moved with the workshop in saying that we are looking for happiness. We were looking for happiness in outside objects, objects outside the body. But then we recognize that the body and the world are in the mind. Therefore, we have shifted our search from outside objects and the body to the mind, because the outside world and the body are in the where? Are in the mind. Don't forget this sequence. That is, we have shifted our focus from blaming other people. Oh, ivalan maduve admele hoge buduttu. That is a very favorite thought of husbands in South India, at least, that maduve adru ade ella hogbidutte. Easily blame all our difficulties and failures on some other person. So that Bhagavan has taken it away from us. You cannot blame another. You don't look to even Bhagavan in the physical form, because Bhagavan in the physical form went away in 1950, says Venkatesh ji. So, this mind, how you can easily see its expanse is that, to touch upon what Dileep ji said, that on 31st December, this 2025, my wife woke up and we had a conversation. She said that 31st December 2026, on the same day, I will be given my retirement papers. I am going to be given my marching orders. So, I said to her, if we consider ourselves to be the sensory body, then we have to march through 365 days of three-dimensional worldly experience to reach that spot. In the three-dimensional world, length, breadth, height, which is experienced through senses, we will have to go through time, 365 days, to go to 31st December 2026. But in the mind, she could go like that. And what could we realize? She had other identities. She had identity as a wife. She had identity as a mother. She had identity as a child. She had identity as sister. But she forgot all that. What was giving her validity, what has given her something which gives her happiness is Kayakave Kailasa. How Basavana has been preceptive, you see. How he gives the importance of mind and how he shifts from sensory plane to the mind. By saying Kayakave Kailasa, this morning I had been to the barber. Usually we have a chat. The son is in charge of the shop. He had gone somewhere, so the father was there. He comes once in 6 months or so, I meet him, so we were chatting up. His body is also 63 years old. My body is about some 6 months or so. The body is younger. So we were chatting up as two friends, and he was asking, "Yen sir, chikkad madla, doddad madla?" I said, "Irode." But then we said, see, when you focus, he is very focused in his work. He has his own shop. Because his son has gone, he has come to take care of this shop. But he is so focused on his work that we were inquiring about Basavana saying, Kayakave Kailasa, that whether he is the Prime Minister of the country, I'm not naming anybody, so don't. Whether he is the Prime Minister of the country, or the one who has to search for hairs on my head and I'll have to pay him search fee. But when they are doing the kayaka, their focus, is there any difference in their focus? Now I am speaking to you, I am the speaker, you are listening to me, you are the listener. But in your focus and in my focus, is there any difference? So when the mind is in ekagrita, all our sensory differences are 8 hours she has enjoyed being a successful banker. 33 years she has worked. That kayaka has given her a meditation where she has lost difference with all the people and she has built successful career. No promotion. She has foregone 2 promotions by herself. That's all. So that identity, no wonder has, but now that is coming to an end. And you can see that end in the mind. You can't see that in the sensory world. Venkatesh will always ask her, what are you going to do? Immediately she will say, that job is lined up, this job is lined up. Venkatesh, as soon as he calls, he will ask her, what are you going to do on retirement? So, then we inquired. See, Bhagavan is saying that identity may come to an end. Don't waste time on what all you sanctioned, what all you did very nicely. Go back, enta kelsa madbitte. Don't do that. Even at the end of that, you are still there. What did Dileep ji say? Sadbhava. Bhava shunya, sadbhava sustitihi. Bhavana balat bhakti uttama. In Upadeshasaram, Bhagavan says that bhavana can come to a shunyata, can come to an end. How have we gained that identity? Identity means one. The morning she gets up, she is a banker. The morning we get up, we are a human being. Hopefully. Okay. But how did we gain that identity? Carl Sagan says, inside our brain, there is the reptilian brain, there is the mammalian brain, there is the primate brain, and there is the prefrontal cortex of human beings. That means the scientists are agreeing with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa when the Paramahamsa is saying that you have evolved through many janmas to get this rare opportunity to come to a self-enquiry workshop. That identity means you have been the other animals that are there in the brain. And when being that animal, you would have identified with that in the mind. And you have done some iterations of actions as a human being which has made you eligible to be identified as a human being. You get up, you are a human being. Like that. But when Bhagavan asks Vasudeva Shastrigal, who are you? And amongst other answers, Vasudeva Shastri says, I am a human being. Bhagavan says, that is only the yoni you have been born in. That is only the womb into which you were born. That is not you. What is this that is? You are not a banker, we can understand. Because many of you are not bankers, you will immediately agree that she should throw away that identity. But what about human beings? That Bhagavan is saying none of us are really human beings. Human being is merely an identifier we have got by iterations of actions which has made us eligible for this karmic sharira, with which we are one. You get up. But in deep sleep, was it there? When the mind was not there, were you a human being? Venkatesh said that you are all divine beings walking through as human beings. Very nicely we heard, we agreed with him. Okay. But what divine being you were in deep sleep? What divine being you were in deep sleep? Without mind? Is there a human being? Is there a divine being? Is there a banker? Is the career after retirement? What is there? We have slowly come from Venkatesh ji's explanations for happiness from outside objects. We moved to mind. In our session, we said, shift from the day-night cycle to Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. This is in our mind. Each of us became responsible individually. Nobody is going to come help here because each one of you have Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. Did you all go to sleep? Or anybody is continuously in Jagrata? All of us have had that experience. So I have requested you to shift from day-night experience of the senses to the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, where each one of us is on our own. That means the shift is from banker, human being, animal, reptile, all this to mind. You are the mind. I had a friend, Dr. Mundraji. We used to go for discussing with him Enquiry. At one point, he was inquiring into anthropology, the past of human men. Nandakumar, you did a very bad thing. What, sir? What did you do? You know, you killed all the Neanderthal men. He is assuming I am the modern man and I am the one who has killed all the Neanderthals. He said, yes, sir, like that. We will say, that means in the mind, you can go back and say how a whole clan has been destroyed by a higher organism. So-called higher organism who had ability to make better tools. So he said, you are that. So in the mind, I not only am able to go forward to 31st December 2026, I am also able to go back. It is far more quick and far more capable than the sensory body. That is why the sensory body and the world are in the mind. And from the mind we have to move to I thought. Shall we move to I thought? Have you moved from sensory world to the mind? From mind, you have to move to I thought to come to self-enquiry. For you to establish yourself in self-enquiry, vrittayastvaham vrittimashritaha vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha. This is the key verse there. I think it is 18th verse. 18th verse in Upadesha Saram. That means, take the mind as a bundle of thoughts or flow of thoughts. Whether it is a process made of thoughts, whether it is a collection of thoughts or the flow of thoughts, all the other thoughts arise only after the I thought arises. Whether it is process, collection or flow, they all exist only in the existence of the I thought. And when the I thought goes to sleep, I am not using the mind goes to sleep, because we have done along with Dileep ji, we have done manasa mana alokya. The mind, see, the danger of the mind is that if you allow the mind to look at other things, it will deceive you. What he said, that mind going out of control is your enemy, mind in control is your friend. You heard that from Panchadashi, isn't it? Sureshwaracharya's Panchadashi, I think he had quoted, and that is, so now define that. What is the mind that is your friend? When the mind, he used the word outward turned, inward turned. Outward turned is enemy, inward turned is friend. That means when the mind is thinking of other things, things other than itself, then it is an enemy. When you make it as manasa mana alokya, when you inquire the mind with the mind, manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam. This is something which will crush the mind, which will make it into juice, make it into pulp. You can simply drink it. How many of you drink smoothies these days? All are recommended, isn't it? Morning, no, don't take all those vadas and fried and all those things. Put all the lettuce, that, this and all that. Make a smoothie. Like that, the mind is made into a smoothie by Bhagavan by saying that it is all made of the one thought called I thought. Vrittayastvaham vrittimashritah vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha. From happiness searched in outside world to mind, and now it is made even more easier. You don't need to bother about other thoughts in the mind. All you have to understand is vidya aham manaha. The I thought is the mind. Is Bhagavan making the search for happiness more focused? No more dependence on another. No more blaming of another. No more worrying about what is happening in Venezuela or what is happening to your child. Neither. Here bhakti helps. Our bhakti marga helps a lot, because who is going to take care? Suppose you are like Picasso and you are worried about the world. Who is going to take care of the world? Or you are like Picasso's wife who asks Picasso, hey, you are thinking of the world. Who is going to think of our child? Like I used to say, in our home, I make all the big decisions. Like what is going to be the budget deficit for India? What is the best inflation rate we can have so that there will be growth? At the same time, there won't be any, whatever is there in economics, I don't recall. No, all those major decisions I make in the home I make. But the decision like how much we have to spend for that month, whether I will get my pocket money or not, all these are decided by Usha. So, we have that joke that whether it is big thought or whether it is small thought, Bhagavan will take care. The Ishvara will take care. If you understand, then you can turn inward. You can turn inward. You can make mind a friend. But even if you don't have that understanding of bhakti, it doesn't matter. You can start self-inquiry. My secret to you is when you do self-inquiry, you will become a bhakta. You will realize that there is a power running the waking state. The waking state world is run by a underlying I. In Mandukya Upanishad, that underlying I of the sensory world is called as Virat of the Jagrat Avastha. In the Jagrat Avastha, the individual is called Vishwa and the Ishvara is called as Virat. So when you turn inward, that the world is in the mind, you are handing over the world's activities as Vishwa, you are handing over the world's activities to whom? To Virat. In fact, if you do self-inquiry properly or surrender totally, you will identify with the Virat, and whatever is happening, you are not merely surrendering, you are ordaining the happening. You are the very ordainer of, then how can you say this should not have happened, that should not have happened? The whole of the waking state, you are now so turned inward into the I that your ego is gone and you are identified with that I which permeates the whole of sensory world. That means this group has been, it is ordained that I should come and speak, you should be here, and I am able to identify with that. Now how can I say, duddilla, idilla, agvardittu? No. So the surrender, as we practice the self-surrender in self-inquiry, you will understand that there is a power that is permeating the waking state as mentioned in Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad will become reality to you. You are not surrendering your child's life and carelessly doing self-inquiry. Non self-inquiry. No. How are you doing self-inquiry? Because there is this Virat. There is that I who is permeating the gross world. Where are you going then? We are going to Dileep ji. And Dileep ji is saying that the mind to which you have come, surrendering the gross world to Virat, the mind is not many thoughts, it is, what is it? It is only one thought which is appearing as that many thoughts. That one thought is the I thought. So we are going to go to Ishvara of dream state called Hiranyagarbha. That will also become real to you. How? Bhagavan teaches self-inquiry day by day to Devaraj Mudliyar that within you, how he begins? Within you, see where the I thought arises. Ninnulle, unnulle, ninnolage. ಈ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನುವ ಯೋಚನೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏಳುತ್ತದೆ ನೋಡು. That means the Virat has to do his business. We have already turned in. Nobody in the outer we are concerned. Happiness is where? Happiness is inside the mind. What is the mind? The mind is the I thought, not many thoughts. The gross world has come into the mind. It has become juice. It has become smoothie. It has become mind stuff. Now in that mind stuff, all the other thoughts emanate only after the I thought arises. And Ramana says, within you, see from where the I thought arises. That means self-inquiry we have come. What is the practice of self-inquiry? That is this session. The practice is when other thoughts arise, do not pursue. Because they all arise only after the I thought arises. Ask for whom is this thought? What will the answer be? The answer will be this thought is for me. Immediately ask, who am I? Where are you asking? Are you asking this outside you or inside you? The who am I is asked inside you. That means within you, other than I thought, no other thought is going to be there. All other thoughts within you are going to be absorbed by the I thought. So the I thought in you is going to be a balloon. That is the Hiranyagarbha I. The gross world and all the thoughts are present where? In you. Because you are no more identified with the gross body, you have been asked to identify with what? You have been asked to identify with the mind, where the gross world and gross body has been handed over to Virat. Now from Virat we are taken to Hiranyagarbha I by Bhagavan. He is saying, within you, that Ishvara Hiranyagarbha I is there. How to hold him? He will not have any other thoughts. So when other thoughts come, you ask, for whom is this thought? What will the answer come? Arre, what will happen to my daughter? Immediately within you, what you should ask? For whom is this thought? The answer will come, the thought is for me. Who am I? Gone. Within you, you will get, Bangalore ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ರಿಷಿಕೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು, ಅವನೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೆಂಡೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಹಿಡಿದು ಹೋಗೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕುಂಭಮೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಎಂಥ ಪುಣ್ಯವಂತ. That means, regarding the place you have a thought. That means, I am in Bangalore. Bhagavan says, Namandri naaledu nadedu. Without the I attending to I, there is no place, there is no time. So when you feel you are stuck in Bangalore, you should understand, I have got caught with my body idea. But within you, inquire, for whom is this thought about Bangalore or about Rishikesh or Nainital? For whom is this place? For me. Who am I? All places. Texas, Seattle, Boston, Canada, Morocco, Venezuela, Greenland, all gone. What is there? Only the Hiranyagarbha eye is there. From all the happenings in Greenland, everything has been handed over to Virat. Now that Virat himself is going to come and reside inside you. That Virat is going to become unreal in the Hiranyagarbha. Virat and all his domain is unreal when you hold for whom is this thought. For whom is destiny and free will and the fight between destiny and free will? Bhagavan asks in Ulladu Narpadu. Bhagavan says, Vidimadi Moola Vivekam Vilarke Vidimadi Vellum Vivadam. Whether the free will win or fate will win. When you have given up the world of cross world, where is fate, where is free will? Both are thoughts. Fate is uncontrollable thought. Free will is what you imagine to be controllable thought. The moment you want to control thought, thought will control you. The moment you want to use thought, thought will use you. The way to understand thought is let go. That thought is only you appearing as thought. You are yourself dividing yourself as thinker and thought and playing around in that illusion. This is the only situation where the magician himself has got trapped in the magic. Therefore, Bhagavan in self-enquiry from the Virat, who is entirely in charge of the waking state, brings the Virat and the waking state to Hiranyagarbha. Now in Hiranyagarbha, when the enquiry is firm, there is no inside and outside. There is no inside of balloon and outside of balloon. Therefore, you come to the removal of self-ignorance and you shine as I. You shine as there is only I. All the other thoughts are gone. The I is holding the I. This is not something you are creating. This I is the Ishvara of Sushupti. The Ishvara of deep sleep state in Mandukya Upanishad is called the Prajnana Ghana. Na antah prajnam na bahi prajnam. Neither there is an inward feeling of inwardness nor a feeling of outwardness. There is only the I. You have consciously come to Jagrat Sushupti. You have consciously come to identify with the Ishvara who has consumed the Virat and Hiranyagarbha. Only Ishvara is there. Are there three Ishvaras? Are there three Jivas? Mandukya Upanishad will ask you. Are you the Vishwa, the Tejasa and the Prajna? Are there three Ishvaras? One called Virat of the waking state, one called Hiranyagarbha of the dream state, one called Ishvara of the deep sleep state. Are there three selves? No, there is only the I, which has consumed all the three individuals and all the three. If they are three Ishvaras, they all merge into the self. That is where the Atma Vichara brings us. Atma Vichara is called as Brahmastram because it will not stop till it brings you to Brahman. Till it brings you to identity with the Brahman. The Ishvara alone can go to Brahman. Unless you identify with Ishvara first, you cannot come to Brahman. That is why while doing self-enquiry, we will all become bhaktas. As far as the events are concerned, how Virat arranges, we will have to accept. Why? Then only you will be allowed entry to Hiranyagarbha. If you still have conflict about how you have come to this place, how you are here and now, suppose you have a bit of conflict in the sensory world, you will not be allowed entry into thoughts. You are able to understand? So far as you feel other thoughts are all real, daughter, son, that, this, the, all those, Colombia, Australia, all these things, if you take, then you will not be allowed to hold the I thought. And without holding the I thought, you cannot come to the real happiness of subject-object free consciousness, the holy, the sacred, the self, which alone is the what is. The what is the self. But because of our ignorance, we have identified with the body, we have identified with the Sukshma as a human being, as a good person, as a bad person. ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂತೋಷ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ಗುಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ಅದು ಏನು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್? ಸಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್. You all, you don't agree that you are not such good people. I agree. But all these games locked and thrown away by Ramana. Not allowed. Each one of us has to individually go here. Why? The answer is provided by Richard Feynman, that you cannot collectively go. There is a talk by Richard Feynman called Value of Science. If you can look into it. Why? Each one has to open this lock. We cannot take collectively, ನೀವು ಬನ್ನಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. No, because inside us, Paramatma is present. Inside each one of us, the fullness is present. How he discovers is very interesting. See, he is a scientist. 1950s, he has been put through the Manhattan Project, where he was part of the atom bomb. So he has all the guilt and all those things. So Enquiry is very serious. He says that science is only a power. It doesn't have the key of good and bad. You are able to stay with me? Science is only a power. How you are going to use it, there is no book, he says. You can use the nuclear power for power generation. If you think that is good, then it is good. You can use it for bomb also, isn't it? But the science itself doesn't have the key. But interestingly, from there he takes a beautiful, as in the journey he takes. He says that so is education. We usually think education is good. The next best thing we should do is all of us should get involved in education. But suppose you educate somebody to be postdoctoral and that fellow does. So education can be, it is only a power, it is jadam, it is inert, it doesn't know good or bad. It can be used for good or bad. He says we were all thinking this health education is good, hospitals are good. But how many of you feel hospitals are really by themselves good? Or hospitals can be used for good and bad? What do you say? Or Venkatesh ji would have been very unhappy with you all. You should answer me. What do you say? Are hospitals wholly good? No, it is still in the human, each of us, in each of our hands. Forget about the hospital. Suppose you have learned some Pitru Mantra shlokas. You have studied about how the journey after death of the Ativahika Sharira or whatever Sharira is there. You have studied some mantras. Now somebody has passed away in some home. This knowledge, is it good by itself? Or can it be used for threatening people? Can it be used for making them feel very vulnerable? ನೀವು 13,000 ಇಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಮಂತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. I have faced that. 13,000 was sometime back in 2012 or something. That unless you put that, I am not going to allow the body to be burnt. That means knowledge of scriptures can be used for good or bad. And he says this he discovered on a visit to a Buddhist monastery in Bahamas. The Buddhist monk says to him, within each one of us, pratiyobbarolagenu, there is given a key. This key opens the gates to heaven. But the same key opens the door to hell also. Whatever powers I have, which are by themselves neither good nor bad, I can use my mind to use it for either good or bad. And each of us has this. So therefore, each of us has to make this effort to come to the self. Each of us is responsible to know the importance of mukti and come to the self. No way you can make Valmiki and his wife can be remembered. What did Narada say to Valmiki? Valmiki was a robber, killer. He said, you are doing this, but all this account you have got to bear. Even your wife will not come and, what are you saying, Narada? You want to escape being killed? That is why you are making me feel guilty like this, that all this. My wife will definitely share with me. Tie me up, go home and check and come, he says. And Valmiki runs home. He asks her, and you change the roles, same thing would have happened. She says, your dharma is you have to bring the money and put it in the till. Mine is to see that it is used for proper purposes in the home. From where you bring, what resources you use, that is up to. That CD-ROM doesn't have overlap with my CD-ROM. My CD-ROM of Prarabdha is different. So that means each one of us has to make this transition from sensory world to the mind to the I thought, and I thought to the self. This is the transition we have to make. That is the power of self-enquiry. The beauty is that somebody who comes across Bhagavan's teachings has already received the best they can receive from any world. Because total responsibility, total right is brought within you. You can't ask for anything more from the world. Whatever world it may be, you can't ask for anything more. Therefore, this is how the Atma Vichara is practiced. Either you can understand that the world is in the mind and practice, or when you practice, you will come to that knowledge. So whether you are able to experience that the world is in the mind or not, don't worry. As you inquire with thoughts, you will definitely find. You will definitely find what? You will definitely find that the world is in the mind. You will definitely find that there is a Virat in charge of all the gross world. You will definitely find that there is a Hiranyagarbha into which the whole world gets resolved. You will definitely find the I, which is the Ishvara Swarupa. You will definitely identify with it. There is no doubt about any of this. That is why it is called as Brahmastram. That is why Ganapati Muni and Kapali Shastri will tell Ramana, you should not put your Brahmastram. When we ask you questions, you should not ask, for whom is this? The moment who is this is there, Ramana is cut off, question is cut off, all possible answers is cut off. Ganapati Muni has to ask, who am I? Kapali Shastri has to ask, who am I? No further discussion. Bhagavan would say, they will first put the condition, only if you don't use your Brahmastra, we will sit. But Bhagavan says, somewhere the Brahmastra will slip. That, who is the doubter, he will ask. There the conversation ends. The use of Ramana as a physical entity, gone. But see the beauty of it. This is the most self-effacive teaching. That person who is sharing this with you is taking him out of the picture. He's saying, I am not the one who is going to give you anything. This self is already present in you. The Paramatma is already present in you. That is how no evil, no good can take complete precedence. Both good is also limited, evil is also limited. Only that consciousness which is beyond and only the self alone is, that is really good. Therefore, all this play of good and bad is only relative. Don't bother, he says. Don't bother. Come to, for whom is this duality of good and bad? For me, who am I? That is how the enquiry is made. So I request Venkatesh ji and Dileep ji to come here. If you have any questions, you can ask. We'll wait for them to come. I think you will have to ask. I will tell it again. Yeah. Yeah. It is this tan. That is what Bhagavan refers to as, in Aksharamana Malai, he refers to it as Meyaham. Meyaham means he calls it as true self. In Meyaham, there is no idam. There is only aham. So whenever you have idam, as Venkatesh ji was saying, the moment you see another, you have got job to do. You have not come to Meyaham, you are in Poyaham. The moment you see another, that means you are in the false self. Who has got job to do? Nothing to do with the other. You have to ask, for whom is this perception of another? So he says, Ishvara's I is Meyaham. He says, Arunachala's I is Meyaham. In Bhakti, Tuimana Moriyar, Toyumun Meyaham, Toyave Arulen Arunachala. He says that those who are pure-minded will seek only the pure self. They will not seek the mixed self. They will seek only the pure self. So that is the Tan. The I and the Tan of Bhakti Marga are the same. Yeah. So it's not that we are creating a new I, we are merely merging in Arunachala's I.
Yeah, the I thought is, the Upanishad will put it like the snake. The I, which is the normal thing which is there, the true I, which is the pure I am, is the reality. But we have superimposed the snake on this I am and take that snake to be real, and therefore I am a individual, I am a woman, I am a man, all of this bhayam is getting created. So when we inquire who am I, we move away from this superimposition by looking for what really do I call as I go back to that pure I am. So that's why Tane Tattvam. It is what you said.
Yeah, so I think reinforcing what both of them have said, the self and the non-self cannot exist together. This is something that we need to understand very clearly. It is like the same point that we discussed with regard to, you can't be in the world and be in the self at the same time. You have to leave one thing. So that's why Vairagya and Viveka is very important in this. Dispassion and discrimination is very important in this journey, because you need to understand what is Nitya and what is Anitya, what is true and what is false. If you understand that every point in your life, then what happens is, you know that this is not true. If you realize that you are in the non-self, it's not true. It's an illusion. It's something we have to understand and use Viveka and Vairagya to be able to see these differences. If you don't use Viveka and Vairagya, you can get carried away very easily. Okay, and so that's the journey. But again, like what Nandakumar said, it's a very private journey. The beauty about this journey is that everybody's path is unique. It's not that if Bhagavan had a death experience, all of us are going to have a death experience. So everybody's path is unique, but the experience of I will be similar. It's like the deep sleep. Everybody's experience in deep sleep is the same. So the experience of I will be the same. Only the path may be very, very different. But we learn from others what they had their experience. but we have to follow our own path within. See, now this is about you. This journey is about you within. So you tell me the path. And tell me the destination. Is the path and the destination same or not the same? Sorry? No. So first you don't. So the important thing to understand here is the journey is in the private domain. It's not in the public domain, right? So this is one thing is very clear. So if it's in the it's private domain. So then it's about you. It's not about anything outside you. Correct? Is this very? It's understandable, right? So it is not. So we think that the self, you and God are separate. Right now we think that you and God are separate. You are apart from each other. But actually that's not the case. You and the self, Bhagavan says, there's no distance between you and me. If there's no distance between you and the self, then you don't have to travel anywhere. There's no path. See, if you have to travel from one point to another point, then there's a path. But you and God are the same, okay? So there's no path. So the destination is also there only. So the point really is this path that we are thinking about, there is a path, that's actually a limiting factor to realize who you are. So the journey is actually to drop that thought of that there's a path and inquire who you really are.
What Bhagavan says is, the seeking is like a stick used to stir the funeral pyre. That means if a body is burning, you are using this stick of self-inquiry, who am I, to make that thing burn well. And in the process, the stick also will get burnt, he says, when you keep on doing it. So, when you are thinking that you are an individual, and because we all think so, therefore Bhagavan has given one common path for all of us, saying, who am I? The inquiry. But the path, the beauty of the path is, when you ask the question, who am I? And try to find what do I really refer to as I? You actually get back to your reality by the grace of the Master. You may not be familiar with it initially. We will be trying to experience even I as an object, something I can see like a mobile, something I can recognize in a thought. We may not know it. The who am I takes us to our real nature. The grace of the Master takes us there. Initially, that's why the path and the goal become same. But because we hold on to objective experience and we want some objective knowledge, we feel that it has not done anything. But more and more you practice what Venkatesh is saying, then we recognize this difference itself is a hurdle. It's making me hold on to an imaginary identity which is not there. That's where he says it becomes private. Are you really intent to know who I am, or simply asking the question mechanically who I am? That is private. But what I feel is the beauty of the Master is, in fact, he says to somebody when Ulladhu Narpadu is given or something, even if you don't understand its meaning, keep on chanting it. So even if you are mechanically doing, the power of that grace is so huge that it can bring the revelation. So we need not fear is what I would say.
Dileep ji, of course, is a great devotee, and it's a wonderful way to
get rid of the paths. Like devotion is a very nice way to get rid of paths. If you ask Mudaliar Party used to just come and give Ramana food for 40-45 years. Towards the end, once she would have become almost blind, and she would have brought the food and put more food into the Ramana's plate. And he will just say, Ennamma, Ningle will put it, if you yourself put so much, I have also got to take ashram food. No, he will tell. Then she will say, Enna Bhagavan, Jasti enna, Kammi enna, Ella Manasaladana irke. That means the very concept of great or small is there. She has only followed devotion, just surrender. That she doesn't know how she is going to go to the next step. That's all. But in that way itself, she has come to jnana. She has come to jnana where the very concepts of great and small have become meaningless to her. Like there is no path anymore for her. That is, the whole idea is to burn up all the paths. See, the only spiritual task is you have to burn all the paths. But in what perspective Venkatesh was saying unique is that you don't try to merely copy somebody. That what Venkatesh was saying, that your path may be unique to you. The thought you may have to let go may be different from the thought I have to let go. But the self-inquiry practice itself is called, Ramana's one of the names in Ashtottaram, in Sahasranamam is Sarva Aramba Parityagi. Sarva Aramba Parityagi means when the mind wants to open up a path with a thought, you have to do tyaga, you have to let it go. That means no step. Correct. So that is why it is now, I might for satsang's sake, I may say in 1995, one of my friends, he just like that, in a matter of fraction of seconds, he met me. And from that point only, my life turned and all that. I will tell like that just for information. But when I come to the self of all, let us say that the whole sensory world is in the mind, I say. There itself, that is all gone. There was another friend who brought me to meditation. All this is gone. Where it is gone? It is gone that it is in my Jagrat Avastha that I have such thoughts. In my Swapna or Sushupti, will I have thoughts that Kumar came and took me to meditation? And so that path is gone. My life is gone. As a sensory being, whatever path I might have walked, like a bird, like bird's path you cannot trace, the sensory being's path will all be erased in self-inquiry. In any spiritual sadhana, see, not only self-inquiry, it is a spiritual sadhana only if you erase your paths. And the only relief you give to people is that they have not done anything, that they are not doers, that they are not knowers, they are not beers. Beers means a separate existence. So it is all burning down of these paths, ways, individuality. So there is, though it may appear to be mechanical, it will not be. Especially in self-inquiry, it will be clear that it is not mechanical. In the other also, the thing is, you are surrendering unknowingly. She has served for 45 years. How the food will come tomorrow, I don't know. I don't know. Like that only she is practicing holding off, I don't know. When she has practiced like that, when she listens to even great scholars think of other things, she will say, I don't know what these fellows are talking. Okay. So by that I don't know itself, she has crossed all the scriptural paths. It is the enquiry. See, that is the enquiry meant in surrender. But how do we do surrender? We do surrender when we are defeated. Some problem defeats us, then we say, Nana Gottilla, Bhagavan Rai Nodkobeku. Till then we wait. But that Mudaliar was not like that. Daily she was practicing surrender, that without him eating, she will not do. That it was an ongoing thing. That will I get food for tomorrow? Will Bhagavan, it seems Bhagavan will go away up the hill just to stop this practice. David Godman says that there was a time when he could not see these old people coming and giving him food. So he would go away. What she did, first day she went, second day onwards she kept inspectors. He said, Bhagavan will go like this, you check where he is going, which direction. And go there and give and come. Just she knew this only. With that itself, she has crossed the hurdle called pathways. Pathways are all there in the mind. When mind itself goes, where is the path? Like that, but it's not that. It could become mechanical for us. The danger, sir, is alerting to us is that that at that time, how we can check it is, we will get heated up, we'll get irritated, we'll get frustrated. So that means our bhavana has gone. We are not doing the enquiry out of love for truth. That love for truth has taken you relax a bit, you just go for a walk and come. If you feel heated up, if you feel irritated, self-enquiry madakke aagta illa like that, relax. You are able to understand. So that is something, caution he is giving us, which we can take in as part of our journey, is that if you get overheated, then that means something mechanical is happening and one can, that rasam. Yeah, that's a question that comes in sadhana. Like he was saying, practice, whether we set aside time. Obviously, he is meaning it cannot be like that. What he is meaning is that the enquiry should be natural. But initially, we used to go, Raju sir and I, we used to go to a particular place on Saturdays and Sundays. We used to sit and we used to discuss for 3 hours, 4 hours. We used to do vichara. That means we knew that in our way of living, we have to set aside time for vichara. Okay, because we have so many occupations. But then what we did was, what we picked up in that star room, we started applying it in our day-to-day living. That means we started inquiring into our thoughts in the star room. We started a practice of listening in a particular way. But we did not stop there. While walking in the park, while listening to somebody, not only to the teacher, we will be applying it. Similarly, self-enquiry you can do in particular time, but you should not stop there. Whenever you are reminded, when you are cooking, when you are taking bath, you can always, when you are listening to Auditorium, can say, you are always there. Now, the easy part about self-enquiry is, you are always there. So you can always ask, who is walking? Who is listening? Who is talking? So, it's something that will come natural. Later on, only self-abidance will be there. It is going to be your nature. But till then, we should say that we can begin with particular times, but not merely restricted there. Like something like that. I hope.
I will give it from the Bhakti perspective. There is this beautiful story which Swamiji from, what is his name? Who was in Tiruvannamalai, right? Forget his name. Not Nambisa. Shantanandapuri. It was one of those days when it was Jayanti of Aradhana. We had wonderful food in Ramanashramam, and Venkatesh ji and me went with Swamiji to his room, and he said laughter digests the food very easily or something like that, and he started telling a story about a mother and a son in England, and the mother would daily go to, weekly once she would go to the church and pray, and the son had no this thing about it. So he was an astika, we can say. He would simply wait outside, and when her mother finishes the prayer, he will come and pick her up and drop her back. And he had a farm he would cultivate. They were making enough money to lead a happy life. And then one day, the mother came to recognize that she has to move on. So she called the son and said, Jim, just do one thing for me. I know you don't believe in prayers and Sunday mass and everything. You just go to the church, the time I used to go, and just go. There will be Jesus statue there. Just go and tell him Jesus, I am Jim, and come back. Okay? So he promised his mother, who was almost moving on, and he regularly started doing it. Every Sunday he will just go to the church. There is the Jesus statue. He will go and tell Jesus, I am Jim, and he will come back. And he would do his normal day-to-day things. One day he went, he had grown a lot of things and he wanted to sell things in London. He went and he sold, he got his money, and while crossing the street, he was hit by a truck. And he had a serious injury. So he was taken to the trauma center. And you know the trauma center, everybody is in huge pain. He is also in huge pain. And it is a weekend. And obviously Monday when the doctor came for checkup and everything, so he was given the initial this thing anyway. Monday when the doctor came, they were very surprised to see the whole trauma center being very silent. There is nobody screaming, nobody crying and everything. And then the doctor was surprised, I believe, and he asked one of the patients what happened. And he said, don't ask me, ask that new fellow who has come. And then the doctor went to Jim and asked him, what happened? He said, no, nothing. It was Sunday and we were all in pain, and suddenly one man with a long turban and this thing, he came and he saw all of us and he smiled at all of us and he said, Jim, I am Jesus, and went away. After that, the whole pain in all of us went away. We are all in joy. So, in terms of sadhana, a discipline to keep on doing it, whether it is mechanical, whether we do it with bhavana, recognizing that there is something higher, and we can all relate to it. I mean, how can a rain, if my intellect can do everything, I can't make the rain pour when I want to, right? A simple thing. And in life, we come across these many situations. I may have money, I may have a lot of wherewithal, I may have doctors in my family, but if somebody is very much sick, and like it happened to my father, his multiple organs are failing. The doctor says that the scale of his survival is 0.5 in 0 to 10. Then what do? Your money doesn't help, your doctor relatives can't help, his organs are failing. So there is nothing that you can really do. So many such situations reveal that there is as he said, the Virat or the higher power is very much there, orchestrating the whole things. But even if that Virat says I, it has to say something, right? That is what Bhagavan says. Isha Jivayor Vesha Dhi Bidha, he says. Ishvara also, between Ishvara and me, Ishvara is a Virat, his body may be the entire universe. His Vesha may be bigger than my Vesha of being just an individual. His intellect may be larger than the intellect that I have. So, Vesha Dhi, in the Vesha and the intellect, there may be difference. But he also says I also say I. So what do we refer to as I when we question? Then we come to that truth, which is the supporting truth of everyone. So therefore the sadhana, doing it regularly or doing it with lot of bhavana, everything helps. In the case of mother with bhavana, it helped. In the case of the son, doing it mechanically, it helped. But doing it really helps, and there is the higher truth which takes care of it. I think that's what I can say.
Yeah, we have lunch also. So. Yeah. Yeah, so all of you close your eyes and watch your breath, watch your nostrils. Just put your both your feet down on the ground so that you don't feel so physically you don't feel in any way hindered. Watch your breath. The source of the breath and the source of the mind is the same. Watch your breath. As you watch your breath, a thought will rise. Inquire, for whom is this thought? For me? Who am I? With your breath, go deeper and deeper and deeper. Another thought will rise. For whom is this thought? For me? Who am I? It doesn't matter how many thoughts rise. As each thought rises, ask, who am I? ಬಂದು ಯೋಚನಾ ಬಂದರೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಈ ಯೋಚನೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ನನಗೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾರು? ये सोच किसके लिए है? मेरे लिए। मैं कौन हूँ? There will be no answer from inside, but silence, stillness. Another thought will rise. Who am I? You can also go to the source of the breath and the mind by inquiring, from where does this thought rise, and go merge into that place. It's called Whence Am I? Who am I is Jnana Yoga. From where the thought is rising, go and merge there. It is Bhakti Yoga. Another thought will rise. Who am I? Bhagavan says, the spiritual heart is to the right of your chest. It's a logical point, but a good place to focus. Do self-inquiry with enthusiasm. Have a smile on your face. For whom is this thought? Who am I? Namo Ramana. We can break for lunch. Arunachala.
Thank you, sirs, for having the patience to also go through the Q&A session and sharing your insights. I'm sure you've had these questions many times earlier, but as Raju sir pointed out, these are going to persist and there will be pertinent questions as to when something will be achieved, because every other path, including Bhakti or Yoga, has a time frame. But this question will continue to, in their own, if it is in a private domain, it will come through various channels, various experiences, but these questions will remain. And for your crystal clear clarity, I thank all the three of you. We'll break for lunch now. Then at 2:45, we'll assemble at the main hall for the inaugural prayer, and followed by Ramananjali program, a musical presentation at 3 o'clock. It may slightly get pushed going by the time that you're running on. But 2:45 is the slated time for the inaugural prayer by the students of Ramana Balakendra, followed by the full-fledged Ramananjali musical extravaganza. Please to join us post-lunch. Thank you. Namo Ramana.